Yes, guys, how you doing? How are ya? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. What's crack-a-lacking, people? What is crack-a-lacking? A little bit of bomber-proof egoist. Little secret, by the way, for the boys. If you haven't got hold of this, the girls, they do adore it, you know? Guys, what is crack-a-lacking? What is going on? I hope you're all happy and healthy doing the things you love, with those you love to do them with. It is Wednesday? Tuesday. It's Tuesday today. Tuesday. Got a day of my life back. How's everyone doing? We got some interesting transfer news today. Fabrizio Romano has been talking once again about the longest ongoing saga in the history of transfer sagas. I mean, watching paint dry is more interesting than this one, but Savio is still very much on, apparently. We've also got Jed Spence, imminente to Inter Milanos. Hey! The suspense. He wants to go. He's got to go. He doesn't have to go, but he wants to go. You know, it's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic to see you all. He wants an impression. He's going to get an impression. He might get two impressions, you know. We might get the band back together, you know. Absolutely terrific. Great to see everybody. Welcome in. It's me, Harry. And Crouchy will be along shortly, you know. Nico Crenshaw, what a content creator he is. What a content creator. You know, content's got to content. It really does. It really does. Absolutely fantastic. Afternoon to everybody, guys. Do me a favour, straight out of the traps. It's Wednesday in New Zealand in 55 minutes. Bloody hell, Martin. Jesus, gee whiz. How are you, mate? How are you? I hope you are all happy and healthy doing the things you love, people. Smash the like button for me on the video if you don't mind. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Notification button should be squeezed. Comments should be dropped. And you should also check out OK Jersey, where you can get 10% off using code Sean10, SEAN10 at checkout. They've got all the latest clobber. They've actually got the training tops that are about to be launched, and then next week they should, or a week after, maybe they'll have the third kit as well. Plus, they still have all of the retro garm even, and they also have all of your Jeremy Jacquets and all that sort of thing. So get over to okjersey.com. 10% off using code Sean10 at checkout. Don't forget Spurs Hub as well. If everybody that was a subscriber to this channel would just go and sign up for free to the Spurs Hub, it would make my day. It would make my day. It's free to do. It takes nothing to do it. Just open up your browser. You can turn it into a mobile app. It's got all of your content creators there as well. All of your smaller ones, your bigger ones, everyone in between. In podcast format and in video format, it's got loads and loads of games on there, bringing out new Tottenham-related quiz games every sort of week. And we got loads and loads of other stuff on there too, like your own forums and Hubba, which is our own. Eventually, it will be like a football Twitter if it grows and if the whole thing broadens out towards other football as well. So hopefully that'll be quite cool, but it's early days for that. We'd love to see any support. Big up to Daniel Houston. Big up to Houston. It's been on the Spurs Hub since day 3. I appreciate that, mate. That's probably before me. Probably before I even signed up. Yeah, babyface, someone said. Do you know what, Mark? I know you guys probably look at me and go, yeah, look at those jowls, look at that double chin. But the last time that I shaved my beard off, which exposes the chubbiness of my cheeks, I was a lot more puffy. It's early days, mate. It's early days. But the old Oxford Natural is really working well. I feel bloody fantastic. I really do. I'm sleeping like an absolute baby. The dreams are insane. At some point in the show, I'm going to have to drop the ad for everyone because Bill's got to get paid and stuff. But I would highly recommend that you guys, if you are trying to lose a bit of weight or just feel a little bit better, if you're the same sort of age as me or getting a little bit older in life, and you just don't quite have the capability to brush off the tiredness as much as you used to, then good night's sleep seriously helps. Anyway, let's find out how everyone's doing. Let's find out, why has my screen gone all weird? Hang about. There we go. That better? Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Let's find out how people are doing in the Chiddly Chit Chat, and then we're going to start talking about some things. I'll put the link out to a few people as well, see if they want to come on and have a little look-see. But let's find out how the chat are doing. Voided, let's go. Evening, morning chat. Big up to you. But not to the afternooners. Only to the evenings and the morning people. Big up to you, Voided. I love your name, Voided Avex. It's very cool. Martin Parrish, man in New Zealand, says, seriously, Jed being sold for 30 million is absolutely blowing my mind. Homegrown, plays 4 positions, one of the fastest players in the Prem, just had a great World Cup. Oh, I know. Let's sell him and keep Destiny. Do you know what? I'll come back to the chat. We're in the sort of the hallmarks here of just doing it as we see it. Let's have a little look-see at this one, shall we? Pull it up on the screen because the noise is everywhere, Martin. The noise is everywhere this morning. That where is it? Inter Milan. Here we go. This is from Gazzetta Italia. Inter Milan are now close to reaching an agreement to sign Jed Spence. Inter are expected to complete a deal worth 30 million euros. So that's like 25, 26 million plus bonuses. You know? Here we go. And this is from, who's this one from? Fabrizio Romano. Initially, Spurs wanted 45 million euros for Jed Spence, while Inter expected to pay 20 to 25 million euros, preventing a deal. How do they expect that? Like, I'll never understand why it's like, I guess it's like if you're a celebrity and you want cocaine, right? You have to go to a specific dealer, and because it's like a celeb, you probably pay like, I don't know, $500 for a gram or something, because it comes with a little bit of, it comes with the privilege of being famous, right? The privilege payments or whatever. I don't know. But I just feel like Tottenham are terrible at selling. We are absolutely atrocious at selling generally. And, even this year, people were saying, well, not so much this year because of Ash Phillips' deal and that. Well, that's now on hold, right? Mikey Moore's move is on loan. Manor Solomon going for 5 million quid is a joke, an absolute joke. I know there might be some sort of political things in there. But ultimately, at 5 million quid, you could have made the argument just to keep him because, we are 10 days away, 11 days away, is it? Or 12 days away from the start of the season. And as it currently sits at the top end of the park, we are one injury away from Mathys Tel to having no wingers. Literally no wingers. Right? Solomon's gone. Mikey Moore's going to be going to, in all likelihood, Cone. So we've got Richalison and Solanke. Solanke's not fit. So we essentially have Richalison, Mathys Tel, and nobody else at the moment. Kudus isn't fit. He hasn't played since January, as Johnny always points out. It's a good point to make. He hasn't played since January. Just because he's back training doesn't mean that he's match fit or sharp or in any way, shape or form ready to start. He won't be starting the season. Kulusevski won't be starting until, at best, I would say October. It is a little bit scary, right? At the same time, I am confident that they are making those decisions around selling or letting go of these wingers because they know that they have got people coming in. Well, we're going to talk about the kind of catch-22 here because it really does feel like I was listening to to Sava. I think Sava went on Stell's channel last night and was saying in a nutshell, stop making excuses for the football club, get it done. You know what? I'm going to come back to the Jed Spence thing. Sorry, I'm already all over the shop with my waffle this morning. Let me come back to full screen for a minute. Yeah, Sava was on there saying sort of get it done, right? Just get it done. Pay the money, right? You paid the money for Tonali. You paid the money for. It can't be that complicated. Every man has his price, and I genuinely think that is true to some degree. I think it is true. And I understand where Sava's coming from because, again, we all knew the situation that we were walking into this summer. There was a massive rebuild that was needed. The midfield did need to be fixed. I don't think the defence needed to be fixed as much as we focused on it. But there was a couple of opportunities there to take advantage of with regards to Senesi and Robertson. It remains to be seen how good Robertson's going to be for Tottenham. Thus far, not impressed, I'll be entirely honest. Senesi, we haven't seen him kick a ball yet. It's not, obviously, I know he went to the World Cup, but he didn't play at the World Cup, So you'd hope that he'd be back now and playing on Saturday, right, against Hoffenheim. But a lot of work was done in the back line, which is fine. We still haven't got rid of Vicario, so our goalkeeping situation is bloated. Then you go to the midfield, and we've now got quite a lot of depth in that area. We have got quite a lot of depth, but again, I think that there's this notion, this narrative that we're good in the midfield, but we're only one bad injury away from it being fucking shit show again, aren't we? And Fernandes he's been here a couple of weeks, and he's already felt the wrath of the Tottenham curse to that degree, right? He hasn't been playing. He's fatigued or tired, or he's picked up a knock, or was it a knee injury? Who knows? We don't know. By the way, how's my mic today? By the way, just let me know in the chat how my mic is doing, guys, because yesterday it was all over the place, wasn't it? But then when you come to the front end of the park where we needed the most amount of work, we haven't done anything yet. We put all of our eggs into the Savio basket and the Gakpo basket. As I've been saying to you guys for a long time, like the problem with the strategy of going Prem proven is you have two doors. Well, it's like a sort of probability tree, right? As you come to it, you go, right, what do we need? We need forwards. Okay, where do we go? Well, we can go Premier League because they're Prem proven, or we can go outside of Premier League. If you go down the Premier League side, then you're going to be paying more. And also, you're obviously filtering out a lot of talent from Europe. But also, you then have two doors you can go, that you can either go to the teams that are similar to Tottenham or smaller in size, where money would be a motivator to sell, or you can look to the teams that have got players that are, say, more used to playing against low blocks, which I think is super important, because I don't think we have too many players in our team that are entirely used to playing against low block teams. And low blocks is going to be a lot of the sort of the stalemate for many teams this year. Like when we go to Brentford Saturday week, I think it will be entirely likely that Brentford would naturally set up in a low block, and they'll try and pivot and pounce on us. And they've got great players to be able to do that. And whether or not Tottenham are ready and accomplished and kind of got that deservable mindset of figuring out ways to break the low block teams down. So there's an argument to go and find players from the Premier League that do have the Prem proven box ticked and also have the ability to break down low block teams, or at least are more familiar with that process, so that the kind of the inculcation into that mindset from a De Zerbi point of view is not alien to those players. That stuff makes sense. However, as I've been saying, those teams are not going to be, they're not going to like bend at the knee to people that, open their checkbook unless it's extortionate. And even then, they're going to sit there and say, well, we'll do it when we find a replacement if and when we want to, because the players that we would want, if they're good enough for us, then surely or what we're trying to achieve, then surely the managers of those teams will sit there and say, well, they're good enough for us as well. They might not be our first choice options, but it's a long season. We all have European football. Therefore, it's good to have rotation, and these players are good enough, right? If we're looking at them, then they're good enough for them to some degree as well, at least in rotation. And I think the third problem with the strategy that we've kind of gone down is walking into a fucking terrible market in the fact that we have participated in kind of building this bullshit market up by overpaying initially on certain players. And then everybody else who's followed has done the same with regards Rodgers and Anderson, etc. But the problem with this market being so dry in the forward line is that if everybody is doing a Mexican standoff, and it really does feel to me like it's a January window right now, where everyone just points and says, yeah, I want him. And they go, yeah, well, I want him. Okay, cool, but we're not going to sell until we buy. And it's just one of those things, because you don't want to be the guys holding the baby either, or not holding the baby. You don't want to be catching a falling knife. I'm trying to throw a few analogies here, but you don't want to be the team who sells first and then turns around and tries to get the next guy, and the next guy won't sell because they haven't found a replacement. And so you're ending up out of pocket. You might have got decent money for your guy, but people then can smell the desperation. I know things will speed up as the final weeks emerge, but because it always does. But this window has been particularly slow. I think that it's worth having a little look-see in a minute when we get into the show properly. We'll have a little look-see at all of the business that's been conducted by Premier League teams. In fact, let me get that ready. Premier League transfers so far. Here we go. We got it on Sky Sports. Right, so we'll go through it. We'll go through it in a minute. There really isn't a huge amount of business that's going on. And so all Tottenham fans that are getting frustrated with Tottenham's business, especially at the top end of the park, it's fine. And I can concur and I agree and sympathise, empathise and share your frustrations. But I also think it's something that is commonplace everywhere else. I'm pretty sure Manchester City fans are looking, Manchester United fans for sure are not happy with their window. Newcastle United fans, once again for the second year running, getting cop blocked and little broed everywhere they've gone. Even Arsenal, king of the hill, Arsenal, are struggling to get their a lot of business done. You know, and they got a few things done, which is looking good with Tonali and Solis and not Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes and Solis and that. But most Arsenal fans are saying, "Where's our kind of bomber? Where's our monster winger?" And if they don't get one, then they're gonna be stuck sitting there going, "Well, then we'll have to tolerate Martinelli for another year." But I think that is the mindset of a lot of teams, right? A lot of teams are sort of going, "Well, look, I'm not going to sell our players until we can buy someone. If we can't buy someone, then I'm not going to sell." And what we have is probably a lot better than a lot of what's in the market and available anyway because of the dryness in that kind of criteria. And Tottenham are a victim of that. Tottenham, first of all, are a team that are responsible in no small part for setting the precedent in the window this summer. But on top of that, we are a victim of everybody just saying, you know what? It's not the right market conditions. Let's just hold on to what we've got. Because Manchester City holding on to Savio is not the end of the world for them, right? Chelsea holding on to Pedro Neto, it's not the end of the world for them. Arsenal holding on to Martinelli is not the end of the world. They've already sort of improved, or definitely improved with Solis, if we assume that he's going to be a good success story. And Liverpool holding on to Gakpo is not the end of the world. Tottenham don't have anyone to hold on to. I mean, there's Mathys Tel, and I know he splits decision. I know he splits the fan base. A lot of you think that he's good or see him through the eyes that I see him through, which is, you know, someone that we can rely on to work hard. And if we could put a few things together, he can participate in a lot of minutes. We'd all probably like to see a better left winger come in so that he can rotate. And, you know, when the injuries come, it's not the end of the world, but we probably wouldn't want him starting necessarily in an ideal world. But we don't really have anyone to hang on to because the players that what we are genuinely hanging on to is this notion that the players that we have, when they're all fit, are good enough. Kulusevski, if he can come back and participate and be something like the last version of himself, that's great. But there is so many unknowns in there. Same with Kudus, hasn't played since January. That's 8.5 months out. Solomon's just left. Mikey Moore's loan move is on hold. But do we really feel like if we're stopping Mikey Moore's loan move because we're getting a little bit concerned around our options in the attack, and then they go, well, we can't really afford to let Mikey Moore go. And Mikey Moore hasn't done anything at this level of football, despite him being one of our own and despite certain people, Johnny, loving him and worshipping him like a father. I just feel like there's a big problem on the horizon, especially in the 9 market. We've got Richalison, who, for the most part, most Tottenham fans would like to see the back of. I'll give credit where it's due. I think he's had a slightly better window relative to his standards than I was expecting. Not window, summer, pre-season. I think he looks a little bit on form at the moment, and I think he can probably, if he decides that he wants to stay, but I think he will, if Tottenham go and bring in a number 9 where he knows that he's second fiddle, then I'm pretty sure that he will know, or that he will then suddenly lean towards, I want to go. He's only saying, I want to stay, but I also want to leave. He's like pretending like he wants to stay, but only on the presumption that he's going to be number 1. And he might end up being number 1 in the number 9 because, first of all, Solanke's injury proneness is really problematic. His desire and heart and like effort to play even when he's got a little knock isn't there, which is a real concern for someone that you need that selfish gene. You need that kind of beast mode mentality, and he doesn't seem to possess it. A talent for sure, but doesn't seem to possess the kind of that X factor, that kind of mentality monster side of him that means that he'll brush off a sore throat to play in the North London derby, or he'll kind of, I don't know, take an injection to kind of get the fatigue out of his muscles. These things are problematic for me. So I think that we are sort of between a rock and a hard place at the moment. I really do. Now, obviously, Romano's saying Savino's, and if Savio does come in, like, it's a bit of a sigh of relief for everybody, right? Like, people pretend like I was the guy in the yesterday's show. There was a guy in yesterday's show saying, are you admitting, by saying that Savio had a good game in the last pre-season, are you admitting that you were wrong about Savio? Which, of course, I would never do. You never admit you're wrong. Never explain, never complain. No, I would never. I mean, I'm more than happy to admit I was wrong on certain things. But with the notion of Savio doing a little bit better, I've heard. Oh, Kate's in the house. I'd never had a problem with him coming in. I've always think he's a talented player. I do think the valuation is questionable, though. But again, like I say, the market is just bonkers. But the version of him that I've seen in pre-season does look to be a little bit more energetic. And I think that someone made a really good. I think it was Jay made a good point last night. Ashmatic show and Marlon's show. Where they were saying that the low block thing, which is what I mentioned a minute ago, I think it's a really good point. Having a player that's used to and familiar with the idea of low block football or playing against low block football means that kind of learning curve isn't as steep as bringing in players from teams that aren't used to it. Big up to my favourite couple, Jimbo and Kate. How you doing, guys? Good to see you.
Good, thank you. No echo?
No echo.
Oh, see, the headphones.
Oh, well done. Well done. We've got a couple of air traffic controllers on the fucking show today.
1, 2, 1, 2. I always think I look like a fly when I've got headphones on. I don't know why, but there you go. But how are you still looking all clean shaven?
Yeah, it was getting scraggly, mate. And I unfortunately, I've broken so many beard trimmers that I don't have the kind of extension bits where you can just trim it but keep it. So I go right to the, and then it highlights all of my curves,
I know. When I had a shave, I find the same thing.
Kate does mine, Sean.
Yeah, I do.
She shaves
me.
We've
got a fourth bozo coming in as well. Look at that. Look at Jim. Where's Flower? Where is he?
I'm fishing with my
You sat in a Paddy's farm with like an old chair from behind the shed. What are you doing?
Fishing?
Yeah, I'm fishing with the little man, yeah.
Oh,
a couple of days away.
Nice.
That is a real dirty old chair, though, mate. You could have taken a nice one, couldn't you?
It's nice. What are you on about?
Yeah, that's quite a nice chair.
It's like it's got more moth holes than the suit I wore in 2017.
It's the style. It's like breathable. Mate, you're fucking sitting on... So what are you sitting on?
What do you mean, what am I fucking sitting on? No, explain yourself, you donut.
Sure, what the fuck is that?
Are you not a fan of my chair, my throne?
Love it.
Good.
Well, how's
the gumption? The gumption.
Obviously, before I popped on, I heard you saying about my winger. I didn't quite get to the end of it as I was joining. What was that?
Oh, I just said I think he's had his last couple of games in pre-season have been closer to the sort of level that Tel has been demonstrating than before, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see. I feel like if he does come in, then I think everyone can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief because, like I say, right now we are if Mathys Tel gets injured, we have no wingers that are fit at our football club going into the start of the season, and that is entirely unforgivable, isn't it?
And I think it's fair to say, or in my opinion, I don't think Tel's a natural winger either, to be honest. I'd say he's more of an inside forward than he is a winger. So even by clutching at that straw, and you're kind of not slagging Tel off here, I'm actually kind of thinking you've been a bit nice on the club by saying that they've got one available winger. For me, they don't even have one available winger. He's not what I would say is a out-and-out winger.
Yeah. Yeah, well, fair enough. I mean, look, but he's the closest thing to a winger. I mean, I think he's more than I don't like him in the idea of playing him in the 9, but I think he's closer to a winger than anything else at the football club. I honestly don't know. What do we do? Forget about him, right? Assuming he's fit and assuming that Richarlison's fit, but Solanke isn't, and assuming that that Mikey Moore ends up going to Cone. Like how would you start the game against Brentford, guys? Kate, I'll start with you. How would you start the game of Brentford if you had the squad you currently do, absent Solomon's gone, absent Mikey Moore, and the injuries are what they currently are from the front?
Sorry, you came to me when I got nuts in my mouth, not for the first time.
Yeah.
How do I start?
Is it Jimbo's birthday again?
No, it's a protein bar. It's all part of my diet, I'm afraid. Look, that's a really good question, Shawnee. I literally don't really know where or how he's going to line up for the Brentford game. Obviously, you would think Richarlison's probably going to start through the middle and then Tel on one wing. I don't know who goes on the other wing.
Yeah, Porro. Push Porro up and put Spence behind him. That's
but
what
Spence
I would
might be going.
Spence is probably going to be Spence.
Yeah, but you said with the team. You said with the team that's there now.
Okay, so, fair enough. Okay. Well, let's include Spence's exit then.
So put Porro on the wing. I mean, it's a good call. I think Porro on the wing's a good call, but it's not the solution, is it? Because we're just making another problem for when Spence goes. Because you've got to find someone to replace Porro. If you bring him down to the wing, you've got to get someone for Porro's position. So it all
but realistically, we're not going to go into the first day as we are now, are we? We're not. As much as people are panicking and thinking this ain't going to happen and that ain't going to happen, we're not. Some will be gone and some will be in.
I hope so.
I'm taking some comfort from the fact that they're still willing to let go of Solomon. I still think the Solomon price is ridiculous, and I think that letting Mikey Moore holding it up temporarily, but it looks like he's still going to go to Cone. You'd be a fucking idiot if Tottenham actually do not be able to get someone in the next 2 weeks. Or even by the end of the window, right? But surely you need to get, because Brentford away is one of those fucking horrible places to go. First game of the season, with all these injuries, all these new things we're learning, all this a shitty preseason that we've had. Going to Brentford is a banana skin to be 0 points from one game, because you can get picked off any time against Brentford. They had a wonderful home record last year. So to go, if Tottenham do sell Solomon or have sold Solomon, knowing that Kudus has been out for 8.5 months, knowing that Kulusevski, who knows, knowing that Odebear's out for the next 8 months, knowing that Xavi Simons is out until the new year, knowing that James Maddison is on his hip injury or whatever it is, right? And we'll talk about his little quip in a minute because I don't know how we can read into that stuff. But and knowing that essentially you've got Solanke, Richarlison and Tel as our only realistic fit, or not even fit. Two of them are only fit front three. It would be unforgivable, wouldn't it? Unforgivable planning to start the season without someone coming in.
Yeah. Didn't we go their first game under Ange? I think we did. Ange's first game, I think, was Brentford away.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm sure it was. Sure we went there. 1-2-0 or 2-1.
Jimbo's been on the Oxford natural pills with his memory boost here.
Not sure.
Yeah, Jimmy, he's really calm about it. Someone's just said you're nice and calm. You're absolutely convinced we'd have people in.
I think you've got to be realistic, right? They're not going to spend all this money that they've spent. They spent £250 million, right? I mean, that's fucking massive, massive money. They're not going to do that and neglect the front line. What is the point? They've got to address the front line, and I'm sure they are addressing it. And it'll be fine. It'll be fine, I'm sure. I just cannot see him spending that sort of money and just thinking, oh yeah, we're just going with Solanke and Richie. Do you think De Zerbi sits there and watches them and thinks, yeah, this is the future of Tottenham? No, he doesn't. Of course he doesn't.
Not only that, I think if they leave it as it is, De Zerbi is going to go mental. We might see the first De Zerbi sort of breakdown, because it's all right strengthening defence and it's all right strengthening the midfield, but the front line is threadbare as it is, let alone without strengthening it. I mean, De Zerbi must be going, this a club, what are you doing to this a club? Wondering what's going on, because there doesn't seem to be that much movement. And I heard someone say it yesterday, and I said it on the show yesterday or the day before, we seem to have put all our eggs in one basket. We wanted Kane, not happened, and we wanted Savio, and it's not happened. And what worries me is whether we got backup plans for either of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is, I think this season more than ever, I actually believe nothing that these so-called ITKs are saying. Or I was told this, or I was told that, or Maddison's out with a hip injury. I mean, for Maddison to come out and say it's not a recurring injury, your ITKs know nothing. If he is injured, he looks like the biggest clown ever. I don't think he would do that. So,
no, but he said people saying that it's a reoccurrence of an old injury. Your ITKs don't ITK or aren't ITK.
Yeah,
and that doesn't mean that just because it's a new injury, it's nothing to worry about.
No, but it doesn't mean he's injured either.
Looking into it. You're looking into it too much, Sean. He's come out.
Content's got a content, mate. What are we doing here? This is the whole point. This is what we do.
Play the game, Jimbo.
From what I was saying, the whole time, I think every man and their dog has said, and female, has said, why are we rushing them back? Why are we doing this? And just brought him back too early. He's done this to this. Why has he done this? The one time, and I'm frustrated as well, we've come on here and said about the last pre-season friendly. I don't even understand what he's doing with these teams. But if he's gone, oh, is he 100%? And they've gone 99. He's gone, no, that's all right then. We'll leave him. Just keep him training. That's exactly what I've been asking, and every fan has been asking. But they put 2 and 2 together and get 55, and everything's dramatic and everything's kind of doom and gloom. For all we know, Kulu, Kudos, and Maddison are fit, right? I still think we're underprepared for the new season. I do. But if we are left with that until someone comes in, I don't think that's the end of the... Well, I do, because I don't rate Kulu or Tel or Richalison or Solanke. So I don't think any of those are good enough. So people need to come in regardless.
James.
Hang on, Dylan. He didn't say he's in full team training. He said that he had a good training session with the team. That could mean in the gym. That could mean stretching. That could mean anything. It doesn't mean that he's on the pitch smashing balls from 25 yards. Again, maybe I'm reading into it. Maybe that's what we do here. But I just. You're right, James. You're right. Like we don't know anything, right? We don't see anything. I'll speak to Gary, my mate Gary, who's actually at the training ground, see if he can shed some light. And Gary, if you're probably watching in the background, mate, let us know. Like if you can shed any light on whether Maddison actually is out there.
But you can't be blamed for thinking that either, right? Because every time this happens, it's just a knock. Kulu's been missing for a year and a half. Like you're not blamed for doing that. It's only so many times. If something keeps recurring, it's going to be true and come around again. So for me, I don't think you're wrong or right. I just feel either way, if everyone's fit, for me, Kulu's not good enough. Tel's not good enough. And the front two are the worst 2 players in the squad for me. So
you're suggesting that you think Kulusevski could be available for like Saturday against...
No, not Saturday, but I don't know, mate. To be honest, and I think that's where my head is from now on. I don't know. We read one thing come out and it says Kulu feels fantastic. He's back to full fitness. He's been out there the whole and then you read another thing saying Maddison's injured. I genuinely have no idea. So I'll wait and see what happens. To be fair, I know that doesn't help content, but it is what it is. That's how I feel.
I'll play the role of the delusional idiot who loses his mind over things we don't know. You guys can play the calm down butler.
You're pretty good at that.
Yeah, look. I mean, so let me rephrase the question then. If you bring in Savio, there was a lot of rumours out earlier about the idea that they might end up actually moving Kudus into the 10. I saw that. I think it was Ali Gold that said that maybe in one of his articles. I think it was Ali Gold, right? In a world where Kudus and Kulusevski, I know Odebear obviously is out forever, a long time, and so is Xavi Simons. But in a world where Maddison, Kudus, and Kulusevski and Tel, Richarlison, and Solanke are our options, how do you rate that forward line as options? Because everyone's rating our forward line as like worse than West Ham's, and I think there's absolutely an argument to say it currently is worse than West Ham's when they've got Tati Castellanos, Bowen, Solomon, and whoever's going to play in their 10, I forget, in the Championship, versus Tel, Richarlison, and Mikey Moore, right? But if you were to sit there and say, no, you've got Kulusevski who could play in the 10 and Kudus who could play in the 10. So let's say Kudus, Kulusevski, Tel, Richarlison. Does that be a little bit, is that more peaceful for you guys, or do you still not think it's good enough?
Nowhere near good enough. It's not.
So what the fuck was all that other waffle about then? Everyone relax.
But I did say, I said Kudus and Maddison, them two are different gravy, if fit. The rest for me are nowhere near good. It's a champion. I've said for like 3 years, I think we have a championship front line. I personally haven't seen enough from Tel to say, right, yeah, he's going to get us back into the Champions League. For me, I haven't seen enough. I think Kudus could play in the 10. I think he could play wide. I think he played quite a lot in the 10 for Ajax, and he's just a class footballer. I mean, I've said the whole time I want Savio, because if you have Kudus one side, Savio the other side, they are just drawing men out left, right, and centre. And in the Zerbi style of football, it's just perfect. For me, it's just perfect. If you get a striker in, what we've got now, for me, Kulu, I would sell him. To be honest, if the opportunity come up,
James,
Kulu, I would.
You're going to get nothing for Kulusevski.
Well, I think there's a few reasons. I think you could, if you could get him to pass a medical and prove that everything was okay, you could probably get some money. For me, Kulu is too slow. Not necessarily running slow. He's too slow on the ball. He takes a touch, looks up, take a touch, takes a touch, take a touch. Before he got injured, everybody, including myself, was saying, why did he take 15 touches before he loses the ball? Just release it. So, again, with this kind of one-touch football that you're starting to see from De Zerbi, it's going to break down every time Kulu gets the ball, in my opinion.
I think you're forgetting how good Kulusevski can be.
I never rated him as a good player.
No, neither did I. I've got to be honest. On the wing, I never rated him at all. But I think Kulu in a 10 is a different player. He's a really good player.
The only position I would play Kulu is either in a false 9, as like a what's the Brazilian that left Liverpool? Firmino? Is it Firmino? Yeah. In that role, or a number 8. I wouldn't play him anywhere else on the pitch. I don't think he's good enough.
Who?
And obviously now we've got midfield too, so he doesn't fit there.
Kulu, yeah.
I mean, we don't know what we're going to get from him yet.
Yeah, but I didn't like the one before. I can only speak for myself. I wasn't a massive fan of the one before got injured. And if he doesn't come back to full potential there, we're getting a player that is worse than what I didn't rate in the first place. Again, I feel some of the football that we play, from what we've seen, has been very quick, one-touch, pass, move, pass, move, pass, move. Kulu isn't that kind of player. It's why I've always said I wanted my wide wingers just to get the ball and drive down the wide, because it's quick football. So, yeah, I worry.
So the thing is with Savio as well, if you put Savio on one wing and Tel or Kudus, none of them have got particularly good output for scoring goals.
Yeah, but you got to think, Kate, of the midfield that was behind them as well. It's going to be different this year with the centre backs, the midfield. It's going to be quicker football and it's going to suit them better. I don't think you can really look at that. I think if Savio comes in this team, I think that he gets good GA. I really do. If we buy a striker, a proper striker with Tel, I absolutely adore Tel. Tel as well.
Good man. Good man.
I think Savino's GA will really, really come good. I do.
But it all hinges on a striker. In my opinion, a 9 is more important than a winger for me right now.
Yeah.
I know they're both like very important. But if you were to offer me 2 wingers or like 1 winger or 1 striker, I'd pick a striker over a winger right now.
Well, yeah, 100%. The only thing I would say again is, with the wingers we've got, if Kudus isn't fit, you need a striker to be doing more work than he should be. Whereas if you had a Kudus and a Savio, in my opinion, you could afford your striker just to stay in the box, so you could probably have less of a forward and just have like a finisher, a natural goal scorer in the box, and that's it. Whereas, say, for example, we was to go for a Kulu and that kind of player, I feel like you need your front man covering a lot more ground, helping out a bit more, and we have that in Solanke, which I don't rate again. So, yeah, it's a tough one. To be honest, I've said to you all along, for me, Savio changes this whole team dramatically. Absolutely dramatically. His GA in his first season at City was 11 or 12 GA under
No,
Pep.
it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it like 11? I thought it was like 9 goals.
8 assists and 1 goal.
Oh, okay, 9, sorry. So 9. But he only played 26 or 27 games, wasn't it? It was something like that. I saw it.
Mathys Tel, though, mate.
Yeah, no, but I'm not kind of denying that. But what I'm saying is, your first season in the Prem, to bag in more than 1 in 3, and then the interview that Carl Walker come out and did about Pep, where he said, "I don't want anyone turning with a ball, don't want anybody dribbling or driving. It's a pass, turn, go." That doesn't suit a player like that. It's why is it Cherky only come into the team towards the end of the season because they got desperate. Otherwise, I don't think he would have played someone like that. I think he would have stuck to his roots and his safety net. So for me, people like Savio, Marmoush, again, another player I would bite your arm off for. Those guys will flourish if they go to a club and actually be their number one player. I would bet my life on it.
Are you not worried about the height of the players though? If you bring in like a Marmoush and a Savio, and you've got Tel who's small, and you've got Tonali's not huge, Fernandes isn't a big guy. Like I feel like you get, but I feel like there's going to be massive problems from set pieces.
Well, within reason, right? Yeah, of course you would kind of naturally have that, but how many tall players are in the PSG? And I know people go, yeah, they're not as good as PSG, obviously, but they don't have a striker. They have two greedy wingers, if you like bomb down the line, cut in, shoot. They have three small midfielders that just keep ball, pass and move. So for me, I've said it quite a few times, football for me goes in a cycle. So I think that we're going to come out of this negative 11 behind the ball that Arsenal were playing last season, a little bit of City played, and I think we'll go back around in the cycle of keep ball, play football, and then I think we'll go all gun press, and then it'll go negative again. And I think we'll come out of that cycle now, and you will see Iriola will get more out of Liverpool, De Zerbi will get more out of Tottenham, and it will kind of naturally kick on.
Oh, you think the pendulum's going to swing back towards creativity?
Yeah, if not this season, next season, 100%.
Yeah, I hope so. Because the Premier League last year was
dreadful.
Not only did I not want to watch Tottenham because we were dog shit, but I didn't even watch like Match of the Day very often. I would just catch the highlights rather than the full games because it was so fucking boring. The game is horrible. Big up to my man Rain for coming in. Before I bring you in, Rain, there's a load of super chiddly chit chats that are backed up. There's over 1,000 people here, guys. As always, want to say a massive thank you for your attention for a midday show. All I'd ask for your favour on this channel is to smash the like button, please. If everyone could do that right now, then it would be insane. But I know, most of you won't for whatever reason. It's free to do, but if you can just extend your finger or your thumb to like your phone or your desktop or even on the computer, just hit the fucking like button, winding me up. Anyway, big up to you all. Let's get some super chats in, then we'll get to Rainski. Bourbon Buzzards in the house with the first super sticker of the day. The super sticker train well and truly has commenced. Choo to you. I'll also be plugging in, of course, Kate and Jimbo's wonderful channel. What you want now, Kate, by the way?
Oh, 3,300 and nearly 3,350.
33 and a third. The James Maddison of Tottenham channels is what we're going to.
We're on the march.
We're on the march. Big up to you guys. We'll get that link in there for everyone to support as well. Big up to Bourbon Buzzard. Thank you very much. Carl B's in the house as well. You're winding me up, Carl. Winding me up. Big up to you, bro. Appreciate you very much indeed. My man, thank you very much for your support. And Chudini's in the house as well. Big up to Chudini with the super sticker. Choo to you, Choo. Thank you very much. We're looking forward to seeing you in the 8 bar. Carl B's back in saying, Sean, are you watching the Charity Shield? That's on Saturday, isn't it? Or is it Sunday?
Sunday.
Who will it be? Arsenal against Palace?
City.
And you've got the Super Cup Wednesday, PSG and Villa.
The following Wednesday, not tomorrow.
No, this Wednesday. Tomorrow
night.
Oh, is it?
No. Is it?
Yeah.
Imagine if Villa fucking win that. It would wind me up, that would. Big up to you, though, Carl.
It's our best friend's birthday tomorrow, and he's a Villa fan. So I can't. I can hear Richie. Who's got Richie nearby? There's prue-pruing going all over the place.
Owl, you donut.
Someone shoot him.
An owl.
It's not an owl. That's a pigeon.
You pillock.
That's an owl.
At night.
Owls don't come out in the day. They come out at night.
Your owls do. My owls are nocturnal owls in terms of like they come out during the time they're not supposed to be out. Shut up! Making me look like I don't know what fucking bird noise is. Who's is that from yours? Is that from you, James? Is it?
It might be. I'm not sure.
You
Yeah.
can't hear an owl.
I can mute it. Is it
Owl.
bad?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's a pigeon. He's going.
Shut up.
If it was Richalison, I'd shoot him.
Ratatata Ulrika, she says loan deal with option for Rashford seems to go. Now that's been ruled out. It's been ruled out. Carrick said or that they've said they're giving him a squad number. He's going to participate in the squad unless a bid comes from overseas in Europe. They're not going to sell him into, or apparently not going to sell him into the Premier League. So he's another one off the list. Big up to you, mate. Adam Gill says, is it incompetence? Oh, it's incompetence in the boardroom. Easy deals done, fine. Struggling to get the difficult deals done that are still backing on injured players to back. Well, listen, like I said, at some point I'm going to bring up the transfer news, like the done deals from every team, and we'll have a genuine conversation around whether or not it's just Tottenham that are being sloppy or whether it's a football wide thing at the moment. Big up to you, Adam. Thank you very much.
Romano's just put an update out about Spence, Shawnee, saying that Inter are set for club-to-club talks with Spurs with Jed Spence with opening proposal to follow. Story from 2 days ago confirmed as Inter will try again for the English right back. Spence keen on the move. Decision up to Tottenham on conditions of deal. Wow.
Let me just finish these last two super chats and then we'll talk about it. Shut up, Richie. We are a rocket without a payload, says a user. Yeah. Well, I think the money's there. It's just getting it into the rocket, right? Getting it into the rocket. Big up to you, A's. Thank you very much indeed. And Dean Livesley, big up to you, Dean, from Australia. He says, can we just get Osman, please? I mean, that would just calm everybody down, wouldn't it? Absolutely calm everyone down. Just quickly, Tom Softly asked this question. Porto just signed. Excuse me, is that Santiago Jimenez? My Santiago Jimenez now going to Porto, Portuguese Championes. Porto. Oh, that's Santiago Jimenez. Oh, okay. I remember when I was calling him quality way back. Dutch football legend, Santiago Jimenez. Big up to you. Maybe Samuel Agahauer is a player that Tottenham could approach, but again, there's a lot of unknowns with him. Let's bring Rain in. Rain, before we talk specifically about Jed Spence, we're talking more at the moment about the predicament of the window, right? The forward line. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of teams that are doing business. It just seems like it's a big fucking giant chain in a house sale, isn't it? You're on mute, mate. Sorry.
I've been very consistent for weeks and weeks since it stalled, and I'm on about weeks. It feels like I'm on about week 9 of being told that Savio will get done this week. And I make you 100% right, Sean. They've through no fault of their own, the club, right? Because we want them to do deals early. We want them to get players in. We want them to pretty much do what they've done, right? We want them to do these things. But then they've been kiboshed by the market because I'm surely they would have sat there in May thinking, are we going to be able to shift Vicario? Are we going to be able to shift Romero? Are we going to be able to shift Sarr? And they would have thought, yeah, no problem. It might take a bit of work, but we'll get these deals done. And it's just not happening, is it? And it doesn't mean that it's their fault. It doesn't mean that they're doing something specifically wrong. It's just that they're in a situation that they don't have control over and they can't get out of. So we all want them to sign players, but I'm absolutely convinced that they're looking at the squad makeup right now and the inactivity in the market, and they don't want to be left holding the hot potato of players that they can't register in their squad because we've got too many non-homegrown players. I'm absolutely convinced that's why it's stalled. And it's not their fault. Let me be absolutely clear. It's not their fault. They've done the right thing. They went and got these players. We want them to get these players. But they've then been kiboshed by the market situations, right? It is what it is. But it does mean that we're left holding the hot potato, as I say, of not being able to sell the players. Like you say, Liverpool don't need to sell Gakpo. Man United don't need to sell Rashford. We need to sell Vicario because we've sorted out our goalkeeper situation. We need to sell Sarr because we've now got, like something like 8 central midfielders, having bought another 2. We desperately need to sell Romero, don't we? I mean, he clearly needs to be, exited out the club, but they just can't get it moving, Sean. And until they do, they can't, they can't get players in the other end because it's blocked. They've got a blockage. So
I don't know. I'd hope. Do you think there's any chance that that they just want to get a couple of players out the door first before they finally go and make a move? And obviously, that looks like Jed Spence is one of them. We're going to talk about Jed Spence in more detail in a second, but
Jed Spence isn't going to help.
5 million quid no one probably saw coming, and then Romero 35 million quid that everyone thought we'd get more from. But there's an extra 70 million quid, give or take, into the kitty. Vicario still to go, Sarr still to go. They've got to get their numbers down a little bit on the non-homegrown stuff as well. Then they can go and get Savio in.
Yeah, but Jed Spence is going to help because he's homegrown. So if we sell him, it makes no difference to our situation. It makes no difference to the hot potato. That's why they've sold Solomon, because they just get him off. It doesn't. They're at the point where the car boot is up, right? The gates are going to close in half an hour, and they don't want to take the stuff home. Yeah, they desperately need to get this stuff out of their boot, because otherwise they're going to take it home and it's going to perish.
I hear you, but I do think that Tottenham are fucking terrible at selling players. Absolutely awful.
Well, I mean, that is the thing. You look at Sarr, right? And if we seriously had an offer from Aston Villa of a loan with even with an option, I don't care. You just take it. Just get him out of the club. We don't need him at the club. Just get him out of the club.
Everyone is sitting there kind of going, in this market, Pape Sarr is worth 25 million quid. I guarantee you we get like less than 15 for him.
I don't care.
It's because our fans are idiots.
I don't care. I don't care because what I want is for Sarr to get out and for us to, and I hate to say it, for us to get a player in, and I don't care if it's Savio. We need we're getting to the point where we're going to need bodies, because you guys talked about the weekend, Brentford, and I love Jimbo's optimism that we're going to get players in, because I'm not optimistic. I think it will go to the wire. And will De Zerbi compromise against Brentford because he doesn't have the wingers that he wants? Will he compromise? Play three midfielders. We know that we've got Tonali, Fernandes, Gallagher. Play 3 of them. Play Tel and let's say Maddison or Kudus is available. Play them as 10s behind Richalison. Will De Zerbi compromise to deal with the fact that he doesn't have the wingers that we know that he wants, and deal with the situation until we get it sorted out? It's a big question, and it's a tough one for him, because I'm sure he doesn't want to.
Yeah. I'm clinging to Jimbo's optimism as well. James, you were saying something then. You were just about to say something. You said because the fans are idiots. Is that what you're saying about like valuing players?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Our fans rate our players like they're an elite footballer, and yet they never sell for anything they are decent, right? Even Romero is probably the best of the bunch that we can sell, and there's so many negatives towards him as a person. People would say he's hot-headed, red card waiting to happen, can't be trusted, and this is the most valuable player that we've probably got to sell. Like, for me, the way I don't buy into this whole generational youth talent, Micky Moore, so on and so on, Lancashire. I don't buy into any of that. I only judge by what I've seen in a Spurs shirt.
It was the right decision to sell Will Lancashire, given where we're at with 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, but just because I agree with that, it doesn't mean that I agree with the action they've taken after that. So yeah, absolutely, they should have sold him. They should be selling one of Richalison or Solanke. For me, it's Richalison. I think he's dreadful, but because he's got a couple.
Homegrown, right?
well, yeah, and he's just crap. So
No, I know, but like, we have too many non-homegrown players.
because
James,
of
he
that
get you
one.
more goals than Solanke, though. For sure.
I think that's. I disagree,
Not
mate.
sure
His
about
best ever season was what, 12 in the Premier League.
What was it? Yeah, I know, but what's Solanke's been since he's been with us?
Well, he's only been with us
13.
one season, but didn't he get 20 before he left and joined us? So, Bournemouth.
Yeah, they're both
And that's at
crap
Bournemouth.
anyway.
So if I'm going by what I've seen, I believe my eyes that Solanke will score more goals than Richarlison. But like what you said there about, do I think it was the right thing to sell Lancashire? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I think it was the right way to act after selling Lancashire? Absolutely not. Lancashire should have gone and you should have brought Osman in. That's the correct way of doing things for me. Richarlison should go and you should bring in the Georgian guy.
Mikatadze.
Yeah, then he should come in. That's how a big club acts. You see City, the moment Savio goes, bang, in comes the next guy. The problem isn't the selling. Cole Palmer goes out, they bring Doku in. That's how big clubs act. They go, all right, okay, fair enough.
You know what else,
leave.
James, right? Chelsea don't seem to have this. I feel like the thought process into some of the transfers that teams like Tottenham put in, it's so like elongated, exaggerated, overanalyzed, and it's like, well, make sure you get it right. Who do you really want? Because he's going to be here for 5 years, and it's going to cost us 50 million, and then another 50 million in transfer in wages, all that sort of thing, right? And then you kind of get, and then we end up going for the players after all that diagnostic reports, and then you end up making mistakes anyway because most of the players we're not happy with. Whereas Chelsea just have this approach of like, all right, just fuck it, we'll go and get you. You want him? You think it might work? Okay, we'll bring him in, and then if it doesn't work, then they sell them again. And it never seems to harm their valuation. I know that Chelsea have got themselves into a financial pickle a little bit, right? And given their headroom that they had because of Abramovich's, fortuitous or otherwise exit from England, I know they had all that wiggle room and stuff to work with. I'm not saying that you copy or emulate their system, but if Chelsea are now known for being the team that will just go and get a player, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but it doesn't seem to harm the valuation of the player because everyone in world football knows that Chelsea are a bit of a trading. They're like just like a revolving door policy.
But I think it's a mentality as well, mate.
Overthink. Is Mikatadze really good enough? Like, have a fucking go. And if it doesn't work out, you can sell him next year anyway to someone back into Europe, right? But I don't get why this over analysis on will they fit the system, will they not? Just to spin plates, and then you end up spinning wheels, and then you make the decision, and normally we get it wrong anyway.
The problem is the second bit. The problem is that sorry, James, we're just rubbish at selling players.
I don't even think it's that, mate. I think it's our fans. Again, I know this sounds stupid if I'm bashing our fans, but I do because no, hear me out first. Literally a week ago, everyone was saying Savio's not worth 60 million. What a waste of money. Keep Tel. And now everyone's saying, well, he's had a couple of good games. Get him in.
No. What do you mean? No. Hang on.
Let me finish my point.
You're doing the thing that certain content creators do, where they hear one person saying something and then go,
exactly.
Everyone in our fan base is saying this.
I was going to go. Well, not everyone, all right, but I was then going to go on to. It's the same with our players, right? People were saying Vuskovic. Oh, no way, we can't sell him. £50 million for a guy that's never kicked a ball for Tottenham. We can't sell. Are you fucking mental? They're saying the same about Berghvall. 50, 60 million pound for Berghvall, a guy that has done nothing for Tottenham. Are you mental? Now, what you've just said about Chelsea, how many Chelsea fans will be crying over Vuskovic, Berghvall's, so on and so on? How many Chelsea fans will be crying that Savio cost 60 million? How many Chelsea fans will cry that Marmoush cost 100 million?
Yeah,
none.
Chelsea
and
fans
that is
are
the
their own
difference.
Breed of fucking idiots. Like
they're
their own
I
breed
disagree,
of idiots.
mate. I know this is such a phrase used by a lot of people, but for me, Tottenham fans want Tottenham to be a big club until it implies acting like a big club, and then we don't like it because we all have players that we like, right? We all have people that we're attached to.
I don't understand. You're throwing mud at Tottenham players because Tottenham fans because our window is frustrating.
Exactly. What the frick has fans got to do with it? It's such an annoying argument because it's pointless. Pointless.
No, it wasn't because we was talking about Chelsea and how Chelsea get away with
turning
players over.
Do you think that Tottenham fans are influencing our transfer strategy?
Exactly.
I think the fans of the club have more influence on the club than we realise. I think that people would be surprised on how many people watch shows and social media than you'd probably realise. These corporate companies have a lot more eyes around than we probably allow.
I think the players dip into Twitter to search themselves out, right? And to see what people are saying about them. And I think there's probably social media admin. There's some girl, some 23-year-old girl at, who's part of a content marketing team under the new content marketing director that have like brand awareness strategies, AI tools that scrape the basic, scrape the sentiment. And yeah, there might be someone from a Tottenham employee perspective who's watching this right now, or who watches We Are Tottenham, or watches Cowlin, or watches Kate and Jimbo, or watches Sava or Stel or whoever else. I'm sure there's some level of pulse monitoring on what's going on. But if they do enough of that, then they will also be fully fucking aware. To your point, I wouldn't go as far as to say the fans are the problem, but I will say that fans are fickle, and they will move their opinions whichever way the wind is blowing. And on that basis, if I was, and I ran a marketing agency, right, who used to do reputation monitoring, all that sort of shit. If I was running one of my old programs for a big client, and I saw that the audience, the market in which they operate in, had a customer base that was wind blowing, influenced by whichever way the wind is blowing, my recommendation to them would be, don't listen to the fucking fans. Do what you think is right, because they will change their mind on a sixpence, whether they agree with you in the moment or disagree with you. If you make a decision that is disagreeable and it works out, then everyone will get on board. Case in point, Roberto fucking De Zerbi's signing. Right?
Correct.
What was the energy in the fan base from Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, right? From powerful influencers, from, I don't know the guy, I'm not calling him out, but this is just an example. People like Ben Bowman, people like Billy T, but these guys that have got massive platforms, they were violently against the idea of De Zerbi because of the kind of the apology for
Greenwood.
For Mason Greenwood, right? So we stay up, have a couple of signings. You won't find anybody that's De Zerbi out now, and you didn't get any apology from anybody, least of all the Tottenham Hotspur supporters, the Supporters Trust, who were violently against signing him in the first place. So if the Supporters Trust is supposed to be some sort of representation of the fan base, which on that basis it wasn't, it was just a bunch of people, like woke individuals in that group, who decided to listen to the noisy minority of LG, where the letterbox thing, and then they decided to go and make a move. Where's the apology? Where's the acknowledgement? No, but they're all very much on board De Zerbi right now. So if the football club do have people employed that are listening to our channels generally, and to the YouTube space, the podcast space, the Twitter space, whatever, my hope is that they are not listening that loudly, because we don't have a fucking clue what we want, and we only want what we want when whatever we didn't want proved to be a wrong take in the first place. Does that make sense?
The same people that say, oh, well, it's the fans' fault, are the same people that go, well, if you accept that, you deserve 17th place. It's just bullshit. Every Tottenham fan wants the best for the club, and some will overrate players. We overrated Berghvall at one point, and we flip-flopped because we saw actually he ain't that great. But whatever me and Jimbo say, or Sean says, or any other content creator says, it's going to have no bearing on the way Tottenham Hotspur behaves.
And if it does, that's a fucking problem.
And if it does, why haven't they signed Morgan Gibbs-White, for God's sake?
Why haven't they got onto the Spurs Hub and signed up? I haven't seen @Spurs Official as a taken username yet.
There's no other reason Tel is at the club other than they've been watching Sean. There's no other reason.
It's human, Sean. It's human nature to change, to blow with the wind. Sometimes you get a player that comes in the club, he's not great for the first 7-8 games, everyone's moaning about him. And then all of a sudden, like Bow, we never won for 22 games when he played. Then all of a sudden he kicks in and starts scoring left, right and centre, and elevated us to a next level, and everybody loves him. It's just human nature. You will never change that in a million years. And I can tell you one thing.
Everyone wants, especially people that don't have a platform, they'll forget what they said last week and pretend or presume that no one else remembers, right? People like people like us who have, I guess, more of a platform to expose ourselves. We get reminders, we get clips made about us. People like yours truly get reminded about Santiago Jimenez and Gift Orban, but no one remembers the fucking correct take. No one remembers Yandy or Mandy. No one remembers that bad boy. No one remembers that.
I can tell you one thing, right? These people at Tottenham are so rich, right? You think that they listen to the commoner? You are joking.
Right.
They do what they want to do.
I hear you, and I hope that's true to some extent, or at least I hope they employ people that will tell them what the correct path is, and I hope that the De Zerbi lesson was learned from the football club, because if they were, but then at the same time, like, they've sold Manor Solomon for a fucking pittance, and you can't tell me that that's not in some way influenced by the social media reaction regarding his
absolutely. And wasn't it Gattuso? Wasn't it Gattuso that was going to be the manager?
Right. Again, and yeah, 100%.
This is what I'm saying. So that there are, for me, that I'm not saying they're making a decision based on what they see or what they hear, but what I'm saying is there's a lot more eyes on the fans and the shows and media for me than we probably realise. And that's not me saying they're going off of everything that we're saying. Right, Sean says Tel's good, we'll keep Tel. Obviously, that's a joke, but that is kind of what I'm saying. Within reason,
James Flower said sign Savio, so we're going to do an 18-month.
Where Sally in the social media department, where she's going, do you know what? That butler was right about Yandy Amandi, right? He was right.
I thought it was Foxy that said that.
No, it wasn't fucking Foxy. And Foxy was also fucking later than me on Francolino Jew. I'm not someone that does the I told you so thing, but when people pretend, like, wind me right up, Kate.
I think James is right, but I think you've got the horse and the cart the wrong way round. I think what you're describing are sheeple, right? There's a culture within our club, and it is quite obvious, and it's been persistent for at least 15 years, if not longer, right? And what you're describing are sheeple who just have bought into that culture and now repeat it. And it feels like they're driving the internal culture, but actually they're just repeating what they're being given. I think that's the way it is. So we're rubbish. We hold on to players. We're far too sentimental about, Sarr should have probably been gone a year or two ago. We should have tried to get rid of Richie, for the last 2 seasons. We kept hold of Bissouma for a whole year because they didn't want to tear up his contract. And that's not the fans doing that, but the fans, I don't want to say accept it, but they don't have control over it. And so most of these fans are just like, well, they just explain it as though it's the way of the world, because they don't do what we do, which is go, actually, I don't want them to do that. I want them to do something different.
Yeah, but whether we sit there and go, oh, well, it's the way of the world, let's accept it, or I don't want them to do it, I'm going to make a blind bit of difference to whether they do it or not, Ray. Sorry, but we're not that powerful.
I mean, I don't know whether ripping up Bissouma's contract wouldn't have done us any favours. Not at all, because they've still got to pay him up. So you might as well keep him and use him. Like, we ended up needing him in some games. So to do
sign somebody else.
Yeah,
sign somebody else.
Where I'll kind of meet James in the middle on this one, right? I do
still
feel
a waste of money, Rain.
As much as I've got very little time for corporatocracy, having been in that world, I can't stand pillowing of management. I can't stand the buzzwords that people drop and pretend like it's like, if you can't explain something to a 5-year-old, then you have to, if you can't convince, confuse kind of bullshit where you drop all these buzzwords, all that stuff. I feel like Vinay Venkatesham is probably knee deep into in his career. When he first jumped in, he put an advert up on LinkedIn for an assistant to Vinay, and the assistant needed to have an MBA and all this sort of thing. I think that's problematic, because you get this circular thinking, and it's all becomes echo chamberish. The one area where I do think that you benefit from that kind of world is being open-minded and not being resolute in your opinion without listening to others, and then coming back and circling back and sort of figuring out where you got the pros and cons and this and that and the other. I think the average fan, if there was a disproportionate or an unnecessary amount of attention, I think some attention to the fan pulse is necessary. I think understanding, certain things is critical. But listen, with regards to the Gattuso thing, right? You're right, James. Like, we did back out of the Gattuso deal because of the fan revolt. And we don't know whether Gattuso would have been a success or a failure at Tottenham. We didn't do any better without him, right? We struggled massively anyway. But this time around, there was more revulsion to the idea of De Zerbi than there was to Gattuso, and yet they stuck to their guns, went with it anyway, gave him the keys to the kingdom, and it saved us from the worst possible outcome, which was relegation. What I would say, though, is that if people, like the average fan, is more willing to die on the hill of their opinions, that they don't really know the deep sort of truth behind them in the first place, and they're so passionate that sometimes reason and logic and the ability to have an open mind to other people's takes on certain things is a prevalent part of the conversation, the narrative. Like, people just like, they're one side or the other, and especially if you've chosen a negative side on something where a positive outcome benefits Tottenham. I see so often, I feel like people would rather Tottenham struggle, or would rather that player fail so that they can be right, even if it means to the detriment of Tottenham Hotspur, which is what I really struggle with to understand why people would be like that, because their ego gets in the way of the bigger picture here on something which is actually not that important to them as a human being. Like, whether or not Tottenham win the league or go down for a season or whatever else, if that's ultimately going to really manifest into changing your life, then that's problematic, right? You put too many eggs in the basket of your hobby. But generally speaking, if you are someone that is closed-minded to other people's opinions on Tottenham opinions, I find that problematic. But I don't think that people like Vinay would do that. I think his life as a corporate guy would, and especially that NBA whole world thing, they're taught to be like, that they won't die on the hill of an opinion. They'll listen to different perspectives and then come to a middle ground, which I think is probably for the benefit generally.
You'd hope.
Listen, let's move on from the conversation. If we got past that bit, then let's talk a little bit about this Jed Spence story specifically. It looks like he's going to Inter Milan. I put out a tweet last night saying, if I'm honest, because there was other news out saying Udogie is also wanted by a lot of clubs. I don't really want Tottenham focusing too much in that department of our team for now. I want us to see all guns blazing on the forward areas. But Jed Spence going, and for about 30 million quid. Now, Gary Neville did say last week, I think, when asked, like, how much would you be worth if you were in today's market? And he said probably 45 million quid, because right backs and left backs, etc., are just not that expensive, because they're not seen as that valuable. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the same anymore. I feel like right backs and left backs have such a fluid role in teams that they're responsible for a lot of the defensive responsibilities and also the creative flair. But either way, do you think 30 million quid is the right decision? Or again, let me ask you, and I'll come to you, Jimbo, first. If you were to sell Jed Spence, there's a problem with the homegrown issue all of a sudden, and also the selling him to Inter Milan. You've got a homegrown player there that you're not benefiting from because he doesn't count as homegrown in Italy. Whereas you could sell him potentially to a different team in the Premier League, whether it's a United or Liverpool or someone else. You could sell him and justify more value because he is a homegrown player. But him leaving the UK removes that value. What's your thoughts on the whole story?
I'm a bit confused with Spence, because I can't really understand why he's being sold. I don't know if it's him who wants to go, or De Zerbi doesn't want him, or I'm a bit confused with it, Sean, because I thought that he had a great World Cup, right? He played well for us at the end of last season. I thought that everything was going well for him at Tottenham. He seems to have mixed in with the other lads. If you watch training, right, everything seems good. So it's a weird one for me. I don't really get why he's going. You know, I'm sure it'll come out. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, we're in a position now with 2 weeks till I think it's less than 2 weeks, isn't it? Till we kick off
Yeah.
for the first game.
Yeah.
And we got, is it 3 weeks till the window ends? 3 or 4 weeks. We're in a position now where we can't really be letting players go without bringing them in them positions, right? So if he goes, they need to have someone ready to come in to take his place, because we're a bit thin on the ground as it is. You know, I still believe that we're going to be all right, that they're going to have players coming in, but who knows? We can't just be letting players walk out the door, especially homegrown players. Now, another thing, I'm not right up to speed with all this homegrown stuff. I hear different stories from different people. You know, Adrian sent me the homegrown thing the other day, and it was fucking more confused. I was more confused after I read it than I was before. So
I do appreciate an Adrian text though. He said he's picked them up. He's picked up his pace for them. This occasionally he just sends through a little text message. You think it's for you personally? It's not. He sends it to everyone on his WhatsApp list.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, but I mean, when he sent me that one, I mean, he sent me some that I really, really liked, but he sent me that one. I was more confused after I read it than before. But I'm really fucking confused with Spence. I am. I
think he wants to go. I think that's the thing. I think he wants to go.
And there must
De
be a reason.
De Zerbi has come out and said, if players don't want to be here, then they can leave. We cannot let ourselves become dogmatic. The football club cannot let themselves become dogmatic about certain things. If a player wants to go, but we've only got 2 right backs and we've got 4 freaking left backs, don't sell one of your 2 right backs. That's it. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. You want to leave Spence? I'm very sorry. This is the way of the world. We can't get another guy in for you. So you're going to have to see out. You're going to have to see out this year at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club and fight for your place, and do your man management stuff with him. That's it. That's what needs to happen. If it was Udogie saying I want to leave, we've already got 3 left backs. It becomes a different story, right?
Is there an argument?
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I don't think you should be keeping any player against their will, because it just creates a toxic environment. Get rid. The moment they say, I don't want to be there, you get rid and you go again. And the thing that we'll do is we'll keep him. He'll play no minutes and his value drops 10 million next summer because he's played no game time. You're not doing yourself any perks keeping an unhappy guy. The value's going down because he ain't playing. He's just, again, a lot of people are saying what he did well at the World Cup. Everyone is forgetting the amount of times that Tuchel was screaming at him to tell him where to be, what position to be, to attack, to press, and he wasn't doing that either. So for me, again, you don't keep... If anyone says, I don't know if I want to be here, off they go and you start again. You can't keep players against their will. They have to go. Otherwise, he will naturally say... I mean, we've all been in jobs we don't like, right? We'll naturally go into the staff room or whatever and go, God, this is crap. And then you'll naturally get someone else go, yeah, this ain't great. And then the next guy that's not playing...
Yeah, like Romero.
Yeah, then Romero. Then you'll get Pape Sarr to sit on that table. This is crap. Then you'll get Solanke sit on this table. This is crap. And before you realise it, you've got a group of 8 players in the first team that are all unhappy. And it all started by keeping someone against their will. Get rid and go again.
Is there an argument, Jimbo, that Jed Spence doesn't suit De Zerbi ball?
Probably, yeah. He probably doesn't suit it, does he? Yeah, he probably doesn't suit it, Sean. He don't. And I mean,
he's quite individual as a player, right? When he's very good at one-on-one defensive stuff. When he carries the ball out, he likes to carry it. There's not a lot of passing from him. I can't remember him ever crossing the ball in. Like, I literally can't remember him ever crossing the ball in, apart from smashing it low across the floor. But like in terms of like picking out a cross from the right or the left, can't remember one. If anyone could like get me a highlight reel of his crosses. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'll go on the Y Scout and I'll see it. But I literally don't remember him crossing the ball. And if Tottenham is going to be a possession-based team,
Yeah.
I think Jed Spence is he's perfect for a counteract, like a counter.
So do you?
Yeah.
Do you think, Sean, that it's De Zerbi doesn't want him?
I think it's probably he's come back. I think he's probably got a little bit more cocky because of his performance in the World Cup. I think he's got that sort of side to him anyway, that edge to him where he's a little bit self-confident, but also he's quiet and a little bit, of an insular person. I wouldn't say he's an extrovert; he's an introvert, and that can often be, by the way, conceived as being or perceived as being prickish. Right, but I don't think you should make that assumption. Obviously, none of us know him personally, right? None of us, but you have heard these rumors that he's just like a bit standoffish, a bit difficult, or whatever else. You saw it with the moody side of him when he wouldn't do as Thomas Frank asked him to do on the pitch. So you can put two and two together, but like you're catching him. You've heard a rumor about him being a bit of a donut. Then you see him in the most frustrated moment, and then you see it in real time on the pitch, on the camera, and then you go, "There's evidence that he's a donut." But I think a lot of other players probably would have felt that same way that are not perceived that way. But being an introvert does not mean you're an asshole. Like it just means that you are comfortable in your own skin and you don't particularly enjoy company. The problem for me though is that as a footballer, extroverts are going to naturally create more chemistry than introverts with people, and that understanding, that wavelength, that ability to read each other's minds, to know what you're going to do before you do it, what they're going to do before they know what they're going to do, and it all just figures itself out. All of those relationships are necessary for a De Zerbi system, and I don't really have any recollection of ever thinking wonderful 1-2 relationship there with Spence and a midfielder, right? And so that's why I asked the question. As much as I rate Jed Spence, I feel like he probably has come back from the World Cup and has now got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, possibly a little bit of like, I'm too good to be sat on the bench for a team that finished 17th last year. And that's fine, probably correct as well. But I think I don't want him to leave because I think he could make that left back position his own. So I'm not convinced that Robertson is going to be as good as people think he is. Destiny Udoggie's always injured anyway. Sousa, we've got no idea, but he's young and he's lightweight and he probably needs a loan. And Ben Davies, Ben Davies is Ben Davies. But so I think he could make that position his own. And then whenever Pedro Porro needs a breather or whatever, you can put him on the right hand side. My challenge is my concern isn't so much about whether or not he's good enough; it's whether he's good enough for the system. And I think that maybe you could make an argument that the Zerbi rule is all about building patterns and interacting with each other. And if he just doesn't have that side to him, which I haven't seen any evidence of, then
he never looks happy. He didn't look happy for England. He don't look happy when he's at Spurs.
He never looks happy, does he?
No.
The only time I've ever seen him smile or get pumped up was when he put in that slide tackle to negate the Argentinians. That was the only time I've seen some energy out of him in that regard,
Fair play to him. Fair play to him.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing.
It seems cheap. I mean, when we paid 20 million for him to let him go for 30 after a good World Cup seems cheap. But I mean, someone in the chat just said Chelsea are coming in for him as well. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I think it's a case
Chelsea have just signed Palestra for 50 million euros. So
I think he
by the way, that Palestra looks fucking slow, bro. He looks so slow. I've got faster step overs than him,
especially after a couple of magnums.
Yeah, you want to see me with a ball in my hand, a ball by my foot with a couple of magnums inside me. Palestra looks like he's got a good cross on him, but he doesn't look particularly good fit for the Premier League. But whatever, we'll find out. I could be wrong about that.
To be honest, though, with that whole scenario, surely we want to get our money in for the forwards. Like, I know we're all talking about there's loads of money there, but Udogie for me was the other guy. He has to be sold. Not only have I seen nothing on the pitch, he's never available to be on the pitch either. So the moment there's a offer of anything, I would take £10 million wrapped up and off you go because he's never available. Spence, he can't keep people against their will. I don't think he's as good as people say. People say he's very good one-on-one defensively. You said earlier about Saka 1v1 and ripped him a new one. So there are definitely moments where I've seen both sides. So again, if you want to be this club and you want to move forward, I'm happy for us to go out and buy someone young and up and coming for the right to learn off of Porro. I'm happy with Robertson on the left, and you've got Sousa learning off of Robertson. I think that's a good. It's not where I want to be, I don't think that's the worst scenario to be in. I would rather get rid of those guys, get a young right back in, or Williams. We spoke about Williams last time. Someone like that. I think you'd get him for 30, 40, 45 million, and then you've got 10, 15 million outlay, and you've upgraded massively. I think that we need to, people are saying he's worth more than 30 million. Based on what? When was the last time he put a 30, 40 million pound performance in for Tottenham Hotspur?
Based on the market, for one.
Yeah, if you want people buying
like
him.
I say, Palestra is a right back that Chelsea just signed for 50 million quid, 50 million euros, I think it was.
Based on the fact he can play left and right wing.
Get back, yeah, but that's if he's going to a Premier League club, right? We're talking about Inter Milan offered 40, 45 million euros.
No, sorry, Marco Palestra just cost Chelsea 43 million pound from Atalanta, and he's a talent and kid. He's a kid as well. He's a youngster, I think. But I mean, how old is Jed Spence? 25 now.
26, isn't he?
Is
sure.
I think he's
26. Sure. And look, let's face it. Anyone that calls out their
into the Premier League is the same as it going out, right?
Anyone that calls out their manager on the day of being promoted with a cigar in your hand, you're a bit of a knob, mate. Yeah, like that guy gave you your opportunity to be in the first team, and the moment you knew you was leaving, the second he knew he was out of there, bang. I get it. I want him to stay.
Who was it? Was it Warnock?
Yeah, I'd like him to stay because I think he's a good backup. I think perfect. Porro gets injured, lovely, keep him. But there's a lot of reasons where I'm quite comfortable to say, yeah, I get it, get rid as well.
But you also said just a minute ago that if he's a bad apple, sorry, Rain, this is quickly. If he says he's a bad apple, right? So
he wanted to go. Yeah, I said if he wanted to go, has to go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That overrides everything for me. Any player that says I want to go has to go. I would rather not have that in the club.
Right. We have so much work that we need to do left in this window. I don't understand why we would add one, willingly add another problem that we have to solve, which is going and getting a right back. And you talk about Neco Williams. Think Forest, knowing that we've only got one right back, are not going to go, economics 101, supply and demand. We've got the supply. You've got the massive demand for our player. How much are you offering? No, 50 million isn't enough, by the way. That's the way that it will work. That's the way that it will work. This is a problem. I don't care about Spence. I make you all right. I've watched Spence for God knows how long, down the left-hand side, coming at me, down the west stand, coming back, cutting back, passing back. It drives me nuts. Right, we play him on the left. He's completely right-footed, and he never crosses. Even on the right-hand side, he doesn't cross the ball. I'm not saying he's a good player, but I'm saying it's creating a problem that we don't need to solve. And at the moment, we got quite a few problems that we desperately need to solve. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. It's like you are adding more kind of firewood to the fire, aren't you?
Sean, it has to be, and yeah. James is absolutely right. You don't want somebody who's going to kick up a fuss. You don't want somebody creating a toxic work environment. Absolutely not. So so here you go, Mr. De Zerbi. Step up, right? Bring him into your office, and make this right, because so that we can move on.
I also think I just got a feeling that when you make an unnecessary sale like this one, and by the way, Scott, I completely agree with your point. By the way, it is a correct point to make. No manager has ever really wanted him, right? Warnock, Conte, Varke, and Frank De Zerbi, 100%. It's a really good point, Scott. But I also agree with Rain 100% as well, that we've got so much to do and so little time to do it. And here's my concern is that Pedro Porro, I just got this horrible feeling that you sell Jed Spence today and tomorrow Pedro Porro has a hammy. I just got this horrible feeling that this guy is well overdue an injury. And I don't want to put it out there into the fucking zeitgeist.
I was thinking that, but I was scared to say it in case it fucking happened.
It's
Like,
Sean who's jinxed it now. It's Sean who's jinxed it, not you, Jimbo.
Come back on me.
I can't believe he's just jinxed it.
Of all Tottenham's like injury issues that haven't been resolved, we're going into the season with 8 injuries, and for me, I just feel like he's one that's overdue an injury. And he's had a monster season, an absolute, like, he's played more games, more minutes than probably anybody in world football. And, anyway.
If it was a fluid market, Sean, I'd be having a completely different opinion. But it isn't. It's a market where we sell Spence, and then we've got 5 people in our transfer team who are doing calls, right? 2 of those people are now going to have to do right back, and I don't want 2 of those people doing right back. I want those 2 people trying to get us another right winger, a left winger, trying to sell Richalison, trying to do the deal for. See where I'm going?
Yeah, 100%. 100. I hear what you're saying, mate. I hear what you're saying. Listen, guys. I just got to pivot for a second because we're an hour and 30 in, and I've forgotten to do my admin stuff. There's 1,160 people here. Listen, guys, if you haven't heard, Butler's on a health journey. I know you might see my chubby cheeks right now, but listen. Early days on the weight loss. I am actually down 4 or 5. There's 6 pounds now. 6 pounds now from when I started, but nothing like Kate, who's down a couple of stone, bless her. Right, but more important for me, for how I've been feeling for the last few months. Like, one of the reasons why I left the Spurs 5, why that kind of my time there came to a close, was because I was exhausted by 8 p.m. every night when we were doing our shows. And I was really struggling, really struggling. I've recently started this Oxford Natural stuff, right? And I genuinely, my memory is firing. I'm remembering things that I would never normally be able to pull back in real time. And I feel much better. I feel really good. So listen, just bear with me, guys. We've just got to do the, do the obvious, and stay with us. We'll get back to the conversation in just a minute. Some of you may be aware that I've recently begun my own health journey as we move into the second half of 2026. And that's all being shaped and aided by the sponsor of today's video, Oxford Natural, and their new improved formula and recipe for their optimum day and night pill. Now, it's not a miracle cure. You have to put in the hard graft, but essentially it works by taking a tablet in the morning that will keep your cravings at bay, keep your metabolism firing on all cylinders, and make sure that your mind stays sharp and focused and avoids all of those distractions and temptations. Now, they do that by combining the very best ingredients in the game at the right levels to make sure that you can maximize your results. The nighttime pill is essentially about recovery and making sure that you have the best night's sleep possible, so that, again, you're not tired in the morning, whereby you're more likely to fall into those temptation traps. Now, look, you can follow my journey and see how I get on, or you can skip ahead here and see exactly what other people that have gone before me have achieved using Optimum Day and Night. We could look at Robbie Lyle from AFTV, who is down over 100 pounds now in his weight loss and health journey. Quite incredible. How about Michael Owen, who's down over 40 pounds in his health journey using Optimum Day and Night. There's also Anita, who is down over 60 pounds now in her journey, and Linda, who is down over 50 in hers. Quite incredible. As I say, it's not a miracle cure, but if you would like to join me on my journey, then we can do this together. And you can do that by going to the link in the description below, or going to the QR code, scanning the QR code. And when you go to the checkout, if you use the code STS70, as in Spurs Talk Show, STS70, then you will get 70% off your first order. And I'd love to see how you get on. We can do this together, guys. Let's get our health back on shape as we move into the second half of 2026. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys there for paying attention. Like I say, STS70 if you want to go and give it a go. Listen, like I say, genuine thought feedback for me. I'm feeling better, which is more important to me than losing weight, because I've been feeling like shit for a long time. Anyway, guys, let's move on with the conversation from Jed Spence. Unless there's anyone that's got any more takes on Jed Spence that we haven't already spoken about, I feel like we've covered that topic. Micky van der Ven, new contract. Congratulations to him for getting, I think it's 250 grand a week, guys.
I haven't heard that much. I heard 2 to 225.
Oh, I saw on Twitter last night 250. Wildly aggressive. Even if it's 225, wildly aggressive. And listen, I'm here for it, right? And I like this little message. I like this message. And when you have great news in your life, you share it with your family first, 100%. You know, it's cool to see his family in the background and that. And you know, good luck to him. And I think he's going to be absolutely pivotal this season if he stays fit, because I think that, as Johnny was saying, and I agree with him, and people, I know a lot of people on other channels, you guys might have been saying it as well, Kate and Jimbo, that you know, the story with Van Hecke is fantastic with the ball at his feet, but can get caught out positionally. You need someone who's got rocket boosters in their shoes to get you out of trouble, which is Micky's, you know, top talent. And remember, like, you know, Micky looked a bit fucking shit under Thomas Frank for the most part, because we were doing low block stuff. Under Ange, he was fantastic because we had the high line and he could turn the rocket boosters on. And under De Zerbi, it's going to be something more familiar, more similar to Ange than it is to Thomas Frank. So I'm looking forward to a really, really impressive season from Micky. But I've got to be entirely honest. I still think that influential Romero got into his ear and has said the pathway out of Tottenham Hotspur is you sign a new contract, you get yours for a year, you make sure that there's a release clause inserted, and then if you're happy in a year's time, cool. You just don't worry about it. But if it's all shit again and you want to go to Liverpool or you want to go to Barca or wherever else, then you have that 70 million, 80 million pound release clause. There's no noise if there is a release clause in there, but for me personally, I feel like it's probably inserted. What's your thoughts, guys? Kate, I'll start with you, mate.
That's a very cynical way of looking at it, Shawnee. But it's probably true, to be fair. Listen, it made sense that he was going to go to sort of the sort of money that Romero was on. I mean, he was on 195 grand a week. I think Van der Ven didn't perform under Thomas Frank, but then very few players did because, you know, we played dog shit football, let's be fair. I think this guy, I think he'll find a new lease of life, without Romero, because I think Romero probably put extra pressure on him because all these bozo moments that he has where he gets sent off and suspended and injured, that partnership can't develop. You know, he's having to play with someone different. I think with a solid partnership of him and Van Hecke, they know each other internationally. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was the new captain. I know that most of the talk seems to be around Maddison being the new captain, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was Van der Ven. I'm delighted we've managed to tie him down, whether there's a release clause in there or not. I think it was important we got this guy tied down to a new contract. It sends a big message out there. And if there's a release clause, I hope it's more like 80 million upwards than anything less than that, so that if a Liverpool does come calling next year, which, you know, they're going to need to replace Van Disney, aren't they? And with his family being Liverpool fans, who knows? But yeah, for the moment, absolutely over the moon. And yeah, I thought the video was very heartwarming. I think all the videos this season, this transfer window of people being signed and new contracts have been done brilliant. I don't know who, they've got a new PR person doing it. And I know they're completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. We want to see just what happens on the pitch. But I just think that they've been really top quality this season. Just giving some shout outs to the PR people at Tottenham there.
Yeah.
Jim, you're on mute, babes.
You're on mute, Jimbo. It's 250.
He's on 240. He's on 240 a week.
Wow.
And he has not. Micky Van der Ven does not have a release clause in his contract with Tottenham Hotspur.
Where are you seeing that?
I'm reading it online.
Yeah, where?
Where?
I put it into.
I know you're reading it online, Jimbo. I didn't think you were reading it in the yellow pages.
Is it a good source or is it ketchup?
Well, it's just about his contract.
Yeah, what have you chat
I put it in Google. And it's come up.
Okay.
He's on 240.
You should have a little link there for where it's sourcing it from, by the way.
All right, I've got it. Hang on.
So it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. Yeah. You know, in around December, we had that big long spiel from Vinay saying that they were going to do this and they were going to do that and they were going to do the other. And you had all the normal people going, yeah. Let's see it.
That's from Sky. Sky.
There you go.
Oh.
Well, here it is. You know, they are doing what they said they would do. They said that they would break the wage structure. It is right that you get one of your better players onto the right wage, onto the right salary. You know, I've been in a situation where I'm sitting here doing a great job, and Brown Nose over there is getting 20% more than me, right? And you know what? That's on someone who's on a relatively low wage, but somebody who's on what was he on before? What did it say? What he was on before, Jimbo?
I think it was on 70.
Yeah, 70.
So it was on 70 before, and you've got players coming in the door like Tonali who are instantly going on 250, 260. So it's the right thing to do to get you one of your better players, one of your senior players on the right wage. And fair play to them. Fair play to them.
And do you know what? Shawnee? Why does everybody think worse straight away? He's just signed a new contract, 5 years with
but I was saying this long before. I was saying this long before he was. I said in March. I was not. I'm not doing the Johnny thing. I'm just saying like I was. I literally was. I'm not claiming it now. I said he will sign a new contract and then he will go next summer in 2027.
He's not. Nothing's
changing. Nothing's changed my mind about that, because when the whole kind of like he's a rat thing was talked about, people were like he's definitely going to leave in the summer. I said I don't think he will. I think he'll be mad to, because if you've got 70 grand, people are, Tottenham aren't going to sell it. This was before even actually it was after Daniel Levy left, but it was like for me it was the obvious thing for him to do is to get his, and especially with Romero in his ear, they were good buddies. Romero influential in the dressing room, but with a bad edge to it. I think that I'm not saying he will 100% leave, but if I was a betting man right now, unless Tottenham are suddenly like pushing for a title next year, if we have like a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th place finish, I think that he will have taken this opportunity to have inserted something into his contract that will allow
down to Tottenham now. It's down to Tottenham to show them that we're ambitious. At the end of the day, if they're not going to be an ambitious club, you can't blame any player for wanting to leave. But they got to show that when you got players like Tonali, Fernandes, Van Hecke, Van der Ven, you got to show these players because they're big players. You got to show them that the club's ambitious and they're going to move forward. And that's with buying a better front line and buying better players to, when they need a rest, they come in. If we get in the Champions League, we got a fantastic squad. Like Kane. If they'd have built this sort of team around Kane, right, Kane would never have left. But he left, and who could blame him for leaving? I was the first one to say, I'm gutted he's going, but I don't blame him for going. So now it's down to the club to prove that we're going to move forward and we're going to be a bigger club and act like a bigger club. And these players will be happy to stay. So it's down to Tottenham now.
Well, I agree. James, you haven't had your chance to speak on this one. I'll let you. I know you're sort of dropping in and out. I know I can see you don't want your son to come on the stream, and I respect that massively. What's your take on Micky van der Ven, and then just a quick pivot from there after you've said your piece on that one. Because I'd like to ask everyone, because I was talking to Johnny about this, and he's convinced that a back three is like viable to be able to make space for Senesi, because Senesi did have a fantastic last season. He was brilliant, right? And so, do we really want a player with as much talent as Senesi just wasting away on the bench, waiting for Van der Ven to get injured, or do we want to make use of him? And especially with our struggles in the front line, is there a likelihood? And again, we're hearing rumours that there's back threes being tested and stuff in training behind the scenes. Is there an argument that Micky van der Ven, Senesi, and Van Hecke will all play together at the same time?
Yeah, that could well be. And I think that if we did go down that route, there's 3 fantastic centre backs there. To be honest, I think everything that Van der Ven lacks, I think Senesi's got. And I almost do feel like I can see what your point and where you're coming from. I also feel like if no one's come in from over the summer, he's probably gone to his agent and said, "What's the plan, mate? Any news?" They've all gone, "None." And then he's seen Van Hecke and Senesi coming, and he's gone, "Shit, now what? Am I first choice? Well, if I commit, could I get more money? Could I do X, Y, Z? There's a lot to it, right? There's so many layers to a scenario that for me, it is what it is. If he comes in and he leaves, he leaves. If we get 70, 80 million or whatever, fair play. Good on us. I don't have any emotional ties to any player. And also, I think these players are human. And I think a lot of people kind of forget that they're human. It's the same as if you're doing your job and you're going for that manager's role. Another guy comes in and he's doing everything that you've asked for. You're naturally like, oh, hold on a minute. They are offering me this contract. Do I wait and see what's there, or do I lose my spot? Or I just feel like he signed a contract that only benefits the club. Whether he stays, fantastic. If he goes for big money, fantastic. It's a win-win, right?
Do you think he's worth 240 grand a week?
I don't. I mean, 240 grand a week is a hell of a lot of money. But I would just say he's definitely not a weak link. So regardless of money, I don't really care.
Okay,
I'm definitely one of those people that
about the
I'm
money
not.
thing. Then let me. Sorry, because I shouldn't have. That was probably a shitty question to ask. In a back three model, can you see Tottenham putting back a back three out? And if who sits in the middle? Who's the guy who's going to present themselves as more of a DM? Who's the guy? Like how? Because there's way you could either use a back three with the central guy playing more of a sweeper, or you could see the central guy playing more as a DM. Like Romero would have been great in a back three in the middle, and he could have gone forward, right? Because he's a good passing in the back, etc. You know, would Senesi be in the middle of the three and then go forward, and then Van der Ven?
That's what I would have. And the other thing is that I would add to what you're saying is the one thing I've always said is versatility. You're just naming so many different options that we could play that De Zerbi could be playing free at the back in training for the games that we may need that. It's not right. This is where we're going to go. X, Y, Z has to be played this way, this way, this way. They're all options that make you harder to beat, and it makes it easier to win games when you've got more chinks to the armour. So for me personally, I think if we went free at the back, it benefits everyone in the back three. I think all of them love time on the ball, love to push out a little bit, and you'll probably see it like clockwork. Sometimes Senesi will drop, Van der Ven will go. You'll see Van der Ven cover, Senesi will go, or whoever. Porro, if you said to for me personally, I think Porro's a fantastic player. If you said to Porro, you have your obviously defensive duties, but they're very, very limited now. I think you're getting a tenfold player. He was almost playing up there as a right winger, second to Yamal in the World Cup, right? The amount of 1-2s and link-up plays he was doing in that corner was ridiculous. And I also think, again, I think Robertson on the ball is still very, very good. So if he's far up, that delivery would be great. My question would be, if that is the case, the only way I could see that happening is if he almost went for two up front, which would be a Tel and another, or Richalison and or whoever, and let that second person drift left, drift right, wherever. So I don't think we have the front players to play the back three, not the back players to play a back three, if that makes sense.
And also with Robertson, James, is he going to get up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down? If we did play a back three with, let's face it, well, I think we're all thinking Van der Ven on the left-hand side, then that kind of Van der Ven and Robertson can very easily dovetail on the left-hand side. Van der Ven can cover for him, or Van der Ven can go marauding, and Robertson can cover behind him. It works really, really well. And I love it. I do make Senesi. I know there's a lot of people who love Danzo. There's a lot of people who sort of think he's a donut, but also he then gives you another option in this back three. If you're in a game and you just need somebody who's going to come in and who's just going to be a defender, who's not going to be who's going to be the one who does do the sweeping and lets one of the, lets the other two play ball a little bit more, then Danzo comes in, as a sub, maybe on the right hand side to cover behind Porro, and let Porro do his attacking thing. I'm a big fan. Do I think De Zerbi's going to do it? No.
It's fascinating that if what you're saying there, Dafashar, is true, De Zerbi's record is more successful, 56.5% win rate versus 46.5% win rate with a back three versus a back four. That's actually really interesting. And given our current predicament and our first game of the season is Brentford away, I don't know. Pause for thought. We haven't seen anything like it. But again, like the whole Tottenham pre-season thing, like the fact that they did the second game behind closed doors. Do you think that there's some element here that maybe De Zerbi's trying to play 4D chess, like showing one thing with like a 70-minute game and then doing something else that was why wasn't the second game shown on Spurs Play? Was it just because of like that they don't want to give away too much content for free, so the season ticket holders, or was it because maybe in those sorts of games, it's the second game against Hoffenheim on Spurs Play? Do we know the first game obviously at the stadium will be?
I think it is. Yeah.
The second game is also available on.
I'm not 100% sure. Okay. I can find out.
He definitely played a back three very often at Marseille, and coming back to what I was saying when I first joined. Will he compromise? And the fact that we're attacker light. Well, actually, playing a back three, having wing backs, having the does allow you then to have just 2 10s. Two forwards, attacking midfielders who tuck in. Okay, maybe they go wide, but they naturally sit a little bit more narrow. On a regular basis. So I think it may well be a tactical solution to a lot of our problems.
Might be.
They are both on Spurs Play, Shawnee.
Both Hoffenheim
games are on Spurs Play. Yeah.
I just think it's a wait and see.
He tends to go into a back three when he's pushing forward, doesn't he? He changes it up in position.
No, I know.
So.
Obviously, I think it's like sort of stale analysis of people to sit there and say like 4-2-3-1 versus a 3-4-3, because in reality, it's that's just what's shown on a bit of paper. Like whenever you do a 4-2-3-1, if Tottenham have possession or any other team has possession, they don't stick 4 people at the back. It becomes a 2-1-4-2-3 or whatever, right? Like it becomes something different. But when I'm saying like a back three versus a back four, I mean like the kind of the difference between having 3 centre backs and 2 centre backs is essentially what we're talking about here.
How often do we get fullbacks these days who spend 30% of their time as inverted fullbacks, almost as central midfielders?
You naturally drop to a back 5 anyway if you haven't got the ball, regardless of your formation, and you don't really play with a back 4 if you have the ball, right? So it's one of those things. Last question, guys. I wanted to ask you this before we can round off in a minute. We've been going for nearly 2 hours, and I appreciate everyone. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, I put the link up there a few times. I haven't had a chance to say it, though. There's Kate and Jimbo's channel. Big up to Kate and Jimbo, always here on the channel supporting us, and they're brilliant contributors. There's 1,100 people here, so at least 100 of you who are watching this right now that haven't subscribed to Kate and Jimbo should be able to just click that link and then go over there and smash the subby dub. And listen, when James and when Rain get themselves a cheeky channel for themselves, then we'll be promoting them as well. Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you this final question. I'm contemplating the idea of doing a 24-hour marathon stream, but not 24 hours, like a go live until we have a bomber.
Do it.
in an ideal world, the stream wouldn't last more than like 4 or 5 hours. So,
RTL.
but in a world where it failed, and I could be going live for like a week and a half,
Wow.
How long do you think we're waiting for our new bomber? I might do it. I have to go and get in a lot of. I have to go and speak to a certain supplier of certain things, and stock up on some water, some alcohol, some nitol, and some other. If you know, you know, all that sort of bollocks, right? But I might end up doing some sort of stream where we just keep going, and then when Butler needs a little kip, I can just sit back here, and then someone else can host a stream for a little while. But a go live until we get a bomber thing. If Tottenham really are listening to our fucking zeitgeist, like you say, James, then surely they'll take pity on me and go, that fucking fat git Butler. He's been streaming for 4 days. Put him out of his misery. Just sign someone. You know?
I think they'd do the opposite. Just leave him. Rotting away. Just like, leave him.
They're furious because of OK Jersey, aren't they? They sit there and go, fuck him. He's promoting OK Jersey. By the way, 10% off using code Sean10 at checkout. You know the rules. How long before our next bomber, James? What are we saying here, mate? And who's it going to be?
I want it to be Savio. Does Bombay include outgoings or only ingoings?
Incomings only.
I will say Friday afternoon, and they'll be shown at the White Lane Saturday.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so if I start Thursday, if I start my we go live until the bomber. If I start Thursday lunchtime, by the way, you lot are going to have to kind of you're going to have to help. You're going to have to participate. Okay, you have to come in and take the reins. Take the rain. There you go. There's rain. Jimbo, how long until? Sorry, James, you didn't tell me who it was going to be. Oh, it was Savio. You said Savio, right?
Yeah, I'd love Savio.
Okay, Jimbo. How long until the next bomber, and who's it going to be, man? Come on.
After a fucking year of chasing Savio, is he a bomber? It's like, thank fuck.
He's a bomber clout.
What does that word actually mean, by the way? Just in case
I ain't got a clue.
Translators fuck me over here. What does it mean?
I don't know what that means. I hope it's nothing bad.
Cancelled.
I think I know what it is, but I can't say it on air.
Oh no! What have I said?
Don't worry about it. Let's move on. How long, Jimbo?
It's nothing that get you in trouble, Kate. I think
it's going to be fucking trouble. They won't. It will get me.
No,
you know what? You know what it means. In Jamaican, it means a menstrual hygiene rag, a sanitary towel. Or in traditional Caribbean uses, it means mother beeper.
Okay.
So not too bad. A mofo.
That's what I thought it was. I was going to say what women wear, but
a jam rag. A jam rag. Berserk's the word. Never seen you before. Never seen you in this chat before, bro. But what an introduction.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Kate.
Love it. Let's get back to the fucking chat. Jimbo, how long until the next bomber, and who's it going to be, bro? Come on now.
Well, I woke up this morning and said to Kate, I fancy we're going to have a bomber today.
Oi, and I went not this morning, Jimbo. I got a headache.
So I'm going to go tomorrow.
Oh.
I think when I thought about it, I thought when they did Van der Ven yesterday, they'll probably give it a day. So I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to have a bomber tomorrow, and I think it is going to be. I know I want it to be, but I think it's going to be either.
Go on, Jimbo. Say who you want it to be.
I want it to be Osman.
No, that's you'd know about. I think there's no way that would stay quiet.
No,
in my opinion.
So who's it going to be?
Well, it's going to be either Gakpo or Savio. One of them two.
Would you guys support me if I was to go live until we 100%. Get a bomber? So if I do like 18 hours a day, and then I need to go kip for 6 hours, you guys can hold the fort. Even if I'll do the night shift, Right, but you can handle someone can handle the morning shift for me whilst we carry on, yeah?
Are you not going to just do the IRL Twitch thing where you just train the camera on you sleeping?
I've seen that as well. I could do that. Yeah, I don't think you want to see my bedroom, mate. There's more wank rank in there than fucking.
Oh no!
I'm kidding. I don't have that testosterone anymore.
That'd probably be the most sense you've ever spoken, Shawnee. That time when you're asleep. But, where was we at to?
Can I just say we've been on the stream how long we've been on the stream? 2 hours, and James, you ain't caught one fish.
No,
you're shit, and you know you
actually,
are.
I've noticed that you put the camera on pause whenever your son drops into the background, which I respect. And before I saw you were doing that, I was going to ask you to introduce him because I know he's a future superstar and all that stuff. But obviously, I respect it. But you haven't put the camera on pause once where you've gone, go on, son, reel him in. None of that. Like, it's not wet, it's dry. Like, there's no fucking fish in that lake, is there? Let's be honest.
It's too hot. It'll be later.
What are you fishing for?
Fish.
Carp fishing.
Well, is it even a lake? Is it even a lake, or is it like a little pad? Is it just like a little pad? Is it like a little paddling pool that you just dipped in?
Nice. It's a 12-acre lake, but I'm Lincolnshire. I'm you guys' way.
Stop it.
You're not.
Actually, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but I'm going to ask you in the private message if you are or after, because if it's where I think it might be, it's like 10 minutes up the road.
Go and say hello.
I was a massive carp fisherman, James.
Oh, let's not get fishing. It's so boring. It's like
there's a Chris exclusive. Let's. Why is carp hard work?
Well, James is right. When it's really hot like this, it's more difficult.
Well, where do they go? Where do they fuck off to? They can't fuck off. Like, I would have thought the fact that it hasn't rained in about fucking 6 months in the UK, that the water levels are down here, but the same amount of fish exists. So less volume, more fish, demand and supply economics. Right, Rain? Am I wrong? If the volume of liquid is down, there's more fish in a square cubic meter or cubic litre, right? What are we doing here?
So when it's hot, they say sunbathing. They just sit on the top, and obviously certain lakes, this lake, you're not allowed to fish on the top because it damages the fish. So you can only fish on the bottom.
How do they fucking know what level you're fishing at? Is there someone watching you?
No, you can see. Like, you can't use zigs and floats and stuff like that on the top. It has to be below. There's certain like rules and stuff you can and can't follow.
Mate, I need to get into fishing. I feel like it's something that I've never done, and that I would sit there and go, it's obviously boring as fuck. But I reckon I would absolutely fucking love it.
Mate, I said exactly the same thing. I was like, no chance. And then my son just said it over and over again, why don't we go? And I was like, no chance. And then we went, and to be honest, with him playing football 4 or 5 times a week, and me working and dealing with general public every day, there is nothing better than just coming and just us two chilling together and just chatting. And
have you got a couple of beers with you or something? Have you got?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We got a little cooker and stuff. So in the evening we'll have like burgers and hot dogs.
Oh,
it's nice.
You're camping up there.
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, we're here till Friday morning.
Oh, nice, man. That's just you and your son. No mum in tow. No.
No one. Just me and him.
Oh, that's so cute.
That is really cool.
It's nice. For me, it's great just to escape everything.
If I went fishing, I wouldn't have a son, but I'd take Bugsy. I feel like Bugsy wouldn't be. I think Bugsy would turn the fish away. I think she'd fucking mess it up for me. Bugsy, I'm about to reel him in. You're winding me up, Bugsy. You are winding me up, girl. Shut the fuck up.
Jimbo used to be on the front of all the carp magazines with holding his big fish that he caught. I mean, that's not a turn on for me. This was long before I met him, but he was banging to his fishing. He's got all these pictures of magazines of him holding and kissing these big fish.
How big is carp? And why is carp more? You can't. It's not a catch to eat thing. It's a catch to
no, fucking eat them. No.
Well, I've got no idea.
No, you're not allowed to do that.
No, you just basically cut them and then throw them back in.
Oh, so it's a bit like going to a strip club. Yeah, okay, great. You walk away with blue balls. Okay, fantastic.
If you use barb hooks, it damages their mouth. So use barb hooks. It's
so
a great. No, it's an absolute fantastic hobby. I loved it.
Yeah, but
I loved
is
it.
there like does the fish is the fish in pain?
Yes.
No, there's no
Yes.
sense of feeling in his lips. The only if you know what you're doing and you're not a twat,
James, there's
it's
no
only
sense
for
of feeling in my elbow, but I don't want someone putting a hook through it. Do you know what I mean? What are you doing here?
I don't care if they want to or not. They're a fish. I doubt if the
You're
cows
forgetting
want to be
about
cooked
5
and made
seconds
into
anyway,
burgers.
right? So it don't matter,
I doubt if the pigs want to be cut and turned into bacon, but you still eat it, right?
Yeah. I had a lovely bacon sandwich this morning, to be fair.
So what's the
Yeah,
Chris
no,
exclusive then? What's going on?
Yeah, let's have a look at Krish. Let's have a look at Krish, and then I'm going to come back to the last. What's he said? How do I spell Krish? Is it double R or something? Yeah, here we go. What's he dropped? This bozo. What's he said? Let me get the stream up. Here we go. What's he said? Exclusive, Omar Mamouche. In the last hours, Tottenham have held talks with Omar Mamouche and his camp over a potential move. Omar Mamouche is high on Spurs' shortlist for new forwards alongside Savio and Gakpo. He is liked by De Zerbi, and the club has held talks with his camp regarding a deal. Manchester City want... well, then... What is this? A load of fucking bollocks. We are not open to losing both Savio and Omar Mamouche. We know price is around 85 million for Omar. Omar is happy at City after talks with... Okay, well... It's like, what are we doing here, bro? You're just trying to get yourself 10,000 views, 161 clicks. That'll be 1,000 fucking likes pretty soon. There's absolutely nothing there, right?
I've seen a lot of City fans the last few days, and they all kind of saying the same thing. Obviously, it's only social media, but they all kind of say they now want Savio to stay and Mamouche can go. And I don't know. It just seems like it's kind of being pushed with the wind. It's boring. Just sign them, not move forward, move on.
Do you know what, Lee? You're absolutely spot on, mate. How can I, of all people, criticize this man for putting content out, even if it's bollocks, when I do exactly the same fucking thing? Yeah, everyone's in the game. The game's got to game. Let me ask this then. Quick question before we get to the last. Let me get back to that. What's going on there with my?
You haven't asked Rain or Kate, have you?
No, I'm going to ask them that, but just real quick, super quick before. Before we do it, Omar Mamouche or Savio, which would, if you had to pick one, who would it be? One word answer.
Savio.
Go on, James.
I don't have one word answer. Sorry.
Well, I'll give you 3 words then.
So, I think Mamouche is a bigger upgrade.
Time's up.
But you can't have one without the other, to be honest.
The chat wants Mamouche.
Mamouche all day long. Not even close.
But that's because we got Richalison and Solanke up top, right? That Richalison and Solanke for me are levels below the likes of Tel, Kudos, Hulu.
I'm with Sean. I think a striker is the most important position.
I also think Mamouche is not a big fucking lump either. I needed a lump of a striker because I think we've got in Mathys Tel. I think we've got a bloke who can put the ball into the box in delicious positions 8 times out of 10, and he just hasn't got anyone that can fucking put it in the back of the net. If we had an Osimhen, the GA from people like Mathys Tel exponentially fly through the fucking roof.
Porro can do it on the right as well.
Exactly.
Kudos isn't.
Robertson.
Sorry, did you say Johnson?
Robertson. Sorry, Robertson.
Oh, Robertson.
Robertson's crossing's lovely, right? From set pieces. I think you need if Mamouche is being brought in as a 9, I'm not a fan of it. Mikel Tadzi, I love him. Love Mikel Tadzi. But do I want to see Mikel Tadzi in the 9 at 5'9"? No, I fucking don't. I don't. Right? I want to see him be brought in and figure it out. Well, I'd sign him and we'll figure it out. But do I need a fucking 6'3" lump in the 9? I'll take a Brobby. I'll take an Igor Thiago. I'll take a Mateta. I'll take one of these fucking lumps. Even if you can't go and get an Osimhen, I'll take a lump in the 9 so that the wingers can then supply someone who can put the ball on his noggin and get it in the back of the net a higher frequency than Richarlison or Solanke can. That's my take. But anyway, I've spoken enough. Rain, 2 questions: Omar Mamouche or Savio, and then separately, the question that I've been wanting to ask you and Kate is, when's the bomber and who is the bomber?
I agree with Flower on the Mamouche and Savio thing. I think
I'm not sure what Flower didn't say anything. Flower just said
both.
He said both. He said both. He said both.
It's not a fucking answer, is it? What are we doing here? Jesus.
I think it will be next Wednesday, sort of just after lunchtime, and I think it will be. I think I'm absolutely with you, Jimbo. I would love it to be Osman. I think it's going to be Gakpo.
You've got to wait 8 more days. I can't go live for 8 days. I'll die. Unless I get some serious methamphetamine or something in my ecosystem. You know,
I've been wrong. I've been wrong before, so you know.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying 8 days away in Osman. Fair enough. Kate, over to you. Who's the bomber? When's the bomber and who's the bomber?
The bomber's definitely going to be Gakpo. I'm convinced, and I think it will be Thursday.
Just to be clear, I did say Gakpo. I don't want next week to be told you said we were getting Osman.
I think Gakpo. I think Balcola's pretty much, from what I'm reading from journalists, that it's close to being done, and I think that will open the door to Gakpo coming to us. I think it'll be Thursday. And Sean, we need to do a stream one day where every time you say the word "tell," we all have to do a shot, because that would be immense.
Let's do that. 100%. I'm up for that. I'm up for that anyway. I'm up for that. By the way, I'm getting some messages from a certain person who I think a person or two that hangs around the training ground or two. I'm not going to say his name. Who's just dropped a little thing in our little private chat saying we are still trying for Kane, apparently, and until it's a definite no, other signings will be made. I don't know what that means. And he says staff are openly talking about it. They have 2 or 3 players lined up ready to go if he says no, but we're putting all of our eggs into the Harry Kane basket.
Well,
but there's deals that are ready to go. It's a lot. Apparently, it's a lot to do with him being let down by the club historically, and wants reassurances on certain things. Even an offer on the table for this season and or next is basically up to him. I think it will be a no, but interesting stuff going on. So.
Build us up and drop us down. I think it will be a no. Oh yeah, thanks. In other news, bears shit in the woods. You know what? What a pointless comment.
Listen, I got no fucking clue. I'm just letting you know. Like,
it's winding me up.
Sean, just feel sorry for me because I'm married to Kate, so I get this all the time.
You know how lucky you are.
Listen. I'm never going to get married because every bird I've ever had has ended up disappointing me. You've been with the lovely Kate for over a decade, 15 years, is it, or something, right?
27 years.
Oh, fucking 27 years, right? You're madly in love. So I don't feel sorry for you, mate. I feel sorry for this guy because I have to go brassing every weekend. And none of them love me. Well, they love me for a long time, but not really like, you know? Good luck to you lot. Listen, we're out of we got some super chilly chit chats to do quickly. Matty Cox won. Big up to you, Matty Cox, who said you're winding me up. It's been 12 months. Love you. You've been a member for a year, Coxie. Big up to you, mate. Appreciate you, mate. I love you, man. Love you too. Thank you for your support. Harmless Potatoes become a new member of the show. I think that's a renewed membership. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for your support, my man. Hazed has said we owe Van der Ven back wages. I reckon 70 grand was a piss take. Yeah.
You know what, Sean? I agree with that. I saw when he put that out about half hour ago, and I thought he's 100% right. We took the piss out of Van der Ven with his wages. So good luck to him. He's on $240 a week.
Yeah. Listen, I just need to see 100% commitment from him. And if I'm wrong, I will own it. I'll 100%. And I know you lot in the fucking chat will remind me. But if next summer you're going to be inundated with Van der Ven to Liverpool vibes, then That's what I think this is more about. But if I'm wrong, and he turns up, shows up, stays committed, stays happy, and participates and progresses us and all that stuff, then fucking fair play. And I'm of course 100% earn yours, bro. Get yours, man. You're a brilliant player. Daniel Field, big up to you, mate. Always for the super stickers. Big up to you, Danny. Appreciate you, mate. You're very, very generous and very, very supporting. Guys, we've been going for over almost 2
Sean,
and a 4 hours.
did you answer your own question?
What question? Oh, when and who? I didn't actually. I think it will happen by Friday. I think we're going to get something Thursday or Friday this week. I think it will be Savio, and therefore I'm contemplating the idea of starting my 24. Well, my. But listen, I'm going to need a lot of support. I'm going to need a lot of you lot to come in and help me out. Right, look, Kate turns her camera off. What sort of fucking demonstration of a fucking support is that? Turn her camera off to stroke fucking the cat or something. I don't know.
No, my son's just gone to get his stuff out of my room, and he doesn't want to be on the stream.
Oh, fair enough. Respect that. Respect
so,
that.
yeah.
Simo's, but what comes first, a bomber or a carp?
James, what comes first, the bomber or your fucking carp deal?
But I fucking hope a carp. I can't sit here for 3 days and fuck all.
You're like a little golden gnome there, James.
Absolutely, mate.
I'm back.
Yeah, I might end up doing. I might start the we stream. We go live until the bomber drops. I might start it. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the chat.
So with you saying Savio there, do you feel like, have you seen enough to say under a different manager you're liking what he's seeing, what you've been seeing, or pre-season of Savio, or what?
I've always said he's a fine player. He's a fine player. I just don't. No, I've also said that I think Tel benches him by Christmas, right? Because I think Mathys Tel's got a little bit more about him. But at the end of the day, I'm more than happy if Savio comes in. The problem I've always had. I said it last summer when we went in with a 40 million quid bid. Then it was 50. Then it was 60. Then it was 70. I was like, at some point, we're paying over the fucking market price here by a long chalk. And also, I think Man City are doing the Harry Kane inverse Uno card, and that to me is it's a problem. But in terms of the player, I love the fact that he wants to be here. I love the fact that he wants to come and play. That's important. I like the fact that he's got experience playing against low block. And I think he's a talented player. He definitely needs to work on his right foot, and he definitely needs to create some output. But again, I feel like if we don't get a 9, then you can have him and Tel and Kudus and everyone else and Kulusevski. But if you haven't got someone in the fucking 9 who can get on the end of that, I think they're all going to look a little bit shit. They're all going to look a little bit shit, but not because of them.
And you're going to be here next summer. You're going to be here next summer, James, explaining why he's only got 10 GA, and it will be because of that.
Yeah.
Well, I've been told that 13 GA is a good season, so I'll take that.
Mate, 13 GA is a fucking good season for a winger. 100%.
Well, I reckon.
No, mate, same offer for you, James. You never took it, mate. 20
I
quid,
don't gamble.
Straight bet. Who gets more GA next season, Tel or Savio? No,
don't have to be money, James.
Yeah. I don't mind doing something like that. Yeah, I don't mind doing something like that, but I don't gamble money. It nearly cost me
I'll tell you what we'll do
my
then.
marriage.
How about take this bet? Okay, this time next year, if Savio joins us and no other conditions, injuries or whatever else, if Savio has more GA than Tel, I will do the dare, and if the other side happens, you do the dare. And the dare is alcoholic consumption on stream.
No, I think it should be a tattoo.
Well, that's bullshit. Because I ain't got a chance. You're a raging alcoholic. I ain't going to be able to compete with that.
You have to do a shot of toffee vodka for every G or A the other player got.
Oh, I want to go part. I want to be part of that game. I like toffee vodka.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. We'll get OK Jersey involved if he joins. Obviously, Savio gets more goals than Tel.
GA,
GA. Yeah, you could buy me a Savio shirt with a Spurs shirt with Savio, vice versa. I'll pay for you to have a Tel shirt with.
How about a tattoo?
Tattoo, come on,
way.
You've got loads
Well,
already,
you got about
James.
fucking 200.
Yeah, but I don't fucking like Tel. I ain't getting Tel put on my body.
We all get Mathys Tel, but you're so confident that it's not going to happen. I'm happy to. I've got a little spot on my left shoulder for a
Listen, I'm
Savio.
confident, but I am not taking the risk of having that ice cream tattooed on me.
Look, everyone wants a piece of the action. Everyone wants a piece of the action.
Yes, it's the toffee vodka. I sold it to everyone, but you've got to have. I had a
Tattoo on your
done
arm.
because
Just the name.
because
Just the
I'm-
name. Savio or Mathys Tel.
Do
It takes up more space on my ass, but
Do
I've
you know
probably
what,
got more
Sean?
volume on my ass. Okay.
Do you know what, Sean? We've got a bet, haven't we? That's what. Can we change the bet to a tattoo?
Yeah. What was the bet before? 20 quid, wasn't it?
Yeah,
For
it was
charity.
20 quid to charity. Yeah,
What bet do you
I'll still give 20 quid to charity if
Okay,
I
but what's
lose.
the bet? You want to get a tattoo of what? Savio or Tel's name? No, but what was our bet? 20 quid.
13 GA, and so so many had to be goals, didn't they?
I need to catch up on all these bets I've made. I've made a 50 quid bet with Pete about just straight Tel 13 GA yes or no. And then what was the bet we had, Jimbo?
Savio, I said if he comes here, definitely get over 13 GA.
Okay, so I said no to 13 GA.
Yeah.
So the same bet, but just the other different player.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
you want to change that to what?
I'll still do the £20 for charity and the tattoo. I'll do both.
So but what do you? Hang on, if you lose, what tattoo do you have to get?
I'll get Tel.
You're going to get Mathys
but you like Tel anyway.
Tel. You're going to get Mathys Tel on your arsehole.
Yeah, I'll get Mathys Tel.
Not on your bum.
Not on my
bum.
The E of the Tel is going to be the actual arsehole. Mathys is going to be on the inside of your right. No, I'm kidding. We'll figure it out. And then we'll explain it next time. All right, guys, we're going to, Tel's going to bankrupt me. Mate, I'm going to have to fucking reach out to that geezer and say, listen, no pressure, mate, but I am taking fucking ammo against you, bro.
Rain's put a Fabrizio Romano status in the private chat.
About and die.
The thing is, if Savio comes in, it's for me, it's absolutely fantastic to have Tel and Savio.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
But it'd be brilliant.
Oh, that's a good one. If you lose, Jim, you have to get a Spurs Talk Show tattoo. And if Shawty loses, he has to get a Kate and Jimbo tattoo. Yes!
I'll do that.
Cool. That is so cool. If Shawty had to walk around with Kate and Jimbo.
If I'm going to get any bird's name tattooed on my body, it's going to be Svetlana from fucking Viva Tree. It ain't going to be you, all right?
That would be the best bet ever.
What are we doing here? Iliman Ndiaye has decided to walk away from his move to Saudi. Fucking good move, mate. Good, bro. Good boy. Good player.
Move.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
that opens things up a little bit, right? Now he's going to move somewhere. Is he going to move to City, to Chelsea? If he moves to Chelsea, it means Neto can move. If he moves to City, it means Neto doesn't have to move. If he moves to Tottenham, it means Savio doesn't have to move. If he moves to Newcastle to replace Elanga, it doesn't help us. But he's going to go to a big team in the Premier League, or he's going to stay at Everton. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting bit of news. Big up to you, Rain, for sharing. Well done. Well done. All right, guys, listen, last call for support for Kate and Jimbo. There is the link. Please do go over there and smash the subscribe to Kate and Jimbo. Awesome fun, awesome people, awesome channel. We're going to figure out the tattoo thing, Magnum tattoo. I'll get a Magnum tattoo anyway. If I need them to sponsor my show. Guys, we're going to leave it there. It's been 2 hours and 22 minutes of a ridiculously long show when there was absolutely no need, no news, no update. We just decided to go live and just chit, chat.
It's entertaining, though.
They're normally the better shows, to be fair.
Yeah, a bit of fun.
If James had a quarter carp, it would have been a bit more.
It would have been fun. Yeah, it would have been fun.
Yeah,
but I think he would have turned his camera off. Whereas I would have wanted him to have gone, hang on, Butler, and then just fucking started the camera around like this. Kind of what was going on, you know? All right, guys, so we're going to leave it there. Appreciate everyone. Please don't forget to smash like and subscribe. Get over to OK Jersey, Sean 10. Get over to the Spurs Hub. And if you are interested in feeling a little bit better about yourself and trying to lose a bit of weight and having a good night's sleep, then check out Oxford Natural. Links in the description. Guys, thank you so much, Kate. Thank you so much, Jimbo. Thank you so much, James. And enjoy your time with your son. And Reno, love you, man. Appreciate you, bro. As always, thanks, everybody. And see you on the next one, guys. Take care, as always. Bye-bye.